So guys, what's going on? Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good in the hood. So what's going on, Ahmed? Yeah, let the viewers build up, and then I'll send the link to you guys. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Yes, brother. Yes, no, KP. Yes, Stephen. What are you saying? You good? Let's get this cooking. Let's get this started. Let me just. Okay. Let me get the link in there. Yeah, I've got the link. Yeah. So, what's good? Oh man, I'm knackered after that 5-hour stint on Tuesday. I was done. I had to take a day off because it was a tough 5 hours. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Let's get into it then. Let's get into it. So Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence fight is official. It looks like the fight's official, and it's going to be happening at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Also, it's going to be on Fox pay-per-view, of course, which we knew it was going to be. Our Heyman's fighters are on Fox pay-per-view. Hi, Imran. Have you seen Amir Khan's cousin and about Khan's who 18 is about to turn pro? Yeah, I've seen it. Is it Abdul Khan? How's it going? Ahmed? You well? I can't hear you, Ahmed. But anyway, yeah. So it looks like.
Yeah, Imran, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, we had a very exhausting 5 hours that day, didn't we?
Yeah, that was tiring, man. It was tiring. Afterwards, it had like long effects, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, what do you make of the news? Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence's fight has been confirmed.
Yeah, it's great news, really. You know, until once we get the venue, you know, everything's completely done in it, and it's really exciting. And just can't wait for the fight to happen, really.
Yeah. Richard, how are you? Richard, you there? Richard? You there, Richard? Okay, Richard's having some technical issues, I think. But yeah, Ahmed, so what do you make of we obviously spoke about it, the Spence Manny fight. What do you make of it? How's it going, Oi? I hope you're well. Before we go into Manny Pacquiao, what do you make of Gervonta Davis's weigh-in?
I've actually I missed the weigh-in actually. I missed out because I've been working today, and I've missed the weigh-in. I'm going to see it and that later on. How did it go?
Yeah, it looked all right. Yeah, Tank looked a bit fleshy. You know what I mean? But Barrios looked ripped.
That's not a good sign when somebody moves up. He's got to maintain physically, and if he's not looking good, like the way you just said, you might find it difficult, especially when you move up.
Leonard Ellaby just said in an interview with Fight Hype, he said that Tank's not going to campaign at 140. So why do you think he's taking this fight then?
No, I think he will campaign at 140. He's got balls. He's got a hot Tank. I just think though at 140, he's gonna find it difficult in that, you know, with what he's been doing, knockouts and stuff, and this Barrios guy, you know, he's gonna make a real tough fight for him, I think, and it will be difficult to get the stoppage for Tank.
But the thing is, Ellaby, his obviously Mayweather's is, you know, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions is saying that he's not going to campaign at 140. So does that mean they're just looking to pick up like this regular belt, just to say he's a world champion against a weaker 140 pounder rather than fighting the tough top 140s? Because basically he was responding to Josh Taylor's comment. What do
Do you
you
know?
think of that?
First of all, there's this belt system, 4 belts that Josh Taylor has. That
Hmm.
confirms you're world champion and you're undisputed and whatnot. This regular shouldn't even be counted as, you shouldn't be able to be allowed to say I'm a world champion, really. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because it's below the super, it's above the main world title. So if that WBA is the world title, you can't really call this regular belt a world title as well, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
sadly.
Thing is, Josh Taylor's got the WBA Super. He's got all the other belts. I don't
Mm.
really understand why they've got regular belts. Do you think there's too many belts out there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 4 was enough anyway. 4 was more than enough, and to get a
Yeah.
regular belt is silly, really. And to be honest with you, I can see that the other governing bodies do something like that as well and start with these regular, and it's just going to turn into a mess, really.
See, the IBF and the WBO don't really do that, do they?
I know, but they might just end up following that sort of rule, and it
Yeah,
will
yeah.
mess everything up. I mean, can you imagine, like, if the other 1 or 2 sanctioning bodies did the same thing, or in fact all of them did it, and you
Yeah.
have 8 champions in one division?
It's not good, is it? It's terrible.
Yeah,
People get confused.
confusion, innit?
Yeah, like people are thinking, why is this belt on the line here? Because Taylor's the undisputed 140-pound champion. He's got all the belts. So what's going on? What's going off here? So people are a
Yeah,
little confused about this because obviously we know as hardcore boxing fans that this isn't for the legit WBA title, is it? It's
yeah,
not. It's not a legit 140-pound title. Title fight. It's a regular title, which isn't. It isn't the real world title. Do you see where I'm coming from?
definitely, definitely. And somebody like Tank, if he does manage to pull it off, calling himself world champion at that weight, this is, when really he isn't really, and it's just going to be one of them in it. And what's he going to do once he gets that belt? Is he really going to go fight one of the top 1 or 2 fighters like Josh Taylor, Ramirez, or just move back down? What's the point of that?
Hmm.
If
Yeah, I
if
agree.
you,
I agree.
once you move up, you stay there. It's like back in the days, Roy Jones started 154, moved up 160, cleared that 168, cleared that 175, dominated that. That's what you call moving up.
Yeah,
And,
I
and,
agree.
and and the way Canelo's trying these days, it's difficult moving up and dominating. So, a lot of fighters are scared, and that's why they just want to pick up a world title, and are happy to be world champions, because it's difficult to jump up weight and dominate. And if you have someone like Canelo, he'll tell you what he's doing is he's doing greatness, really. And it's to dominate as well. You know what I mean? It's just not easy.
Yeah, he's moved up to 168, hasn't he, Canelo? He's fighting Callum Smith, Billy Joe, and he dominated them really quite comfortably, didn't he?
Definitely, definitely. That's why you have him as I've got him as my pound for pound. Since he beat Kovalev, I had Crawford #1, but since he beat Kovalev, I've leapfrogged. I've put him up, leapfrogged him in terms of resume, and I've put him in at #1. So Crawford for me has to beat Errol Spence to climb back to that #1. But them two are the clear standout fighters, to be honest with you. Uh, when people start pushing Spence above people like Crawford and Canelo, it's absolutely ridiculous, to be honest with you, because he's at one weight. He's at
Mm.
he's at his first weight class. You get what I'm trying
Would
to
you
say?
say it's unfair to put Inoue ahead of Crawford?
What's a new done? Is he at his second weight class or
Yeah,
third?
he's gone up 3 weight classes. Yeah,
And has he been in champion in all three?
yeah.
Yeah, if he's done similar feats like that, then you have a case, don't you? Obviously, but uh,
Inoue's not just been like moving up; he's been knocking guys out as well. Like he's been looking sensational. Uh,
mm,
he had
mm,
a he had a good fight with Donaire, but Donaire's a monster. And
yeah,
he beat Donaire. Donaire, obviously, as we know, he just become world champion again. So
yeah.
yeah, so that's a tough fight for anybody. Donaire's a real dude. He's a
Mm.
real dude. But yeah, what about Lomachenko Nakatani? That's tomorrow as well. What do you make of that? What do you make of that
Yeah,
fight?
it's gonna be good to see how Lomachenko comes back, because firstly now the fighters they've got a fear factor about Lomachenko's gone, so you're gonna see the opposition give him a much tougher fight, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Lomachenko overcomes these fighters now who are gonna really come for him, and how he bounces back from the Lopez defeat, and if he can really put on a show, and I mean a proper show against Nakatani, and school him.
Mm.
That fight against Lopez, people might call for that again. Lopez might be in a position where he might have a rematch, but it all just depends on what Loma does really on the weekend.
Yeah. Do you think he'll beat Nakatani?
I think he'll beat him, but it's gonna be close. I don't see him dominating. I can see him winning. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough fight, man. It's not going to be an easy fight. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very tough, I think, personally. Um, Nakatani's big, he's tall, he's rangy, he's going to be a nightmare. He's going to be a
Yeah.
nightmare. I think it's going to be a very, very tough fight. Just a quick message to Richard Brown. He said, try to get, but something not right with my microphone or something I am trying to sort out, but I'm not great with technology. No worries, Richard. Once you sort it out, you can always come on. You were on, but unfortunately you weren't speaking. So there was something probably wrong with your microphone. But yeah, back to Lomachenko Nakatani. If Lomachenko wins, and just say the Teofimo Lopez fight doesn't happen, who would you like to see him fight?
I think fighting somebody like Devin Haney and beating him would prove something, don't you think?
Yeah,
He's
that's a good win. Yeah, that would be a good win. Slap here says, I want to see Crawford fight Canelo, Triple G, Spence, Pacquiao, or move up low. Then he could be pound for pound. Fight the best of the best to go through everybody. What do you make of that?
Well, he's already. This is already his third weight class. Is it Slap? Yeah, this is a third weight class, and he's doing great. He's doing great things at this weight class. So to fight Triple G and Canelo, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Don't you think? And
Yeah, too much weight difference there. He's too big.
if anybody can get up down to 154, I think that would be Crawford's stretch. 154 would be the max. With
they
somebody
can't make that anymore.
Yeah. So if Triple G can never make that, and Canelo, I don't think can ever make that and be strong anywhere at 154. So them two fights. So who else did he say? Spence. Well, Spence he's gonna fight anyway. Pacquiao, obviously, he's gonna fight the winner of them two. So
yeah. Do you think so? You think that fight's not going to happen then?
What, against Triple G or Canelo?
No, well, like the Pacquiao fight. Do you think if Pacquiao loses?
No, that will happen. Pacquiao versus Spence, winner of that fight. But moving up to 154, Jamel Charlo, that would be a possibility for Crawford.
Burning Desire said Crawford too small at 147.
No. Crawford's settled well into 147. He's a strong enough puncher at 147. He's got the punch power. 9 rounds he took Jeff Horn out in 9 rounds, and I really rate that accomplishment. That's when I started rating Crawford. That's when I really took notice. First, when he became undisputed at 140, I thought, wow, we've not had one for a while. And then I was like, yeah, I want to see him what he's going to do. Then his plans were to move up to 147. And that's when I said, right, I want to take notice of this Crawford because he's just getting serious here. And what he done to Jeff Horn in 9 rounds. And that's when I became a fan of Crawford, really, after the Jeff Horn win.
A quick question. Poppy Casino says, Casemiro v. Donaire. How do you see that one going?
Oh, these two lower weight classes. I'm not an expert, sort of say them weights, but I think Donaire's name's obviously he's a big name in it, and Casemiro is easy up and coming. Yeah, I'm not saying much of it.
Casemiro. So Daenerys, obviously, he's a ring legend. Everyone knows about Daenerys.
Yeah.
But in terms of Casemiro, John Rowe Casemiro is a guy very, very dangerous, very fast, very powerful, and he's in his prime, so to speak.
Mm.
For me, this is a very intriguing fight and a 50-50 fight because Daenerys just beat the brakes of a Barley.
Right.
And Casimero he's had some good wins. He beat Tete, Duke Mika. He beat. He's looking very good, Casimero, and he's got the confidence behind him. So I think this is a
I,
50-50 fight.
I think whoever fights Donaire is gonna get hell anyway, whether they
Yeah, yeah.
win,
Anyway, got
lose, or draw. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? He's that type of name.
yeah. Donaire's a really, really good fighter, but Casimero is very, very dangerous as well. So this is a very good fight. This is a proper
It,
fight.
it, it it sounds like a 50-50 fight to me.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. Yeah, it is because Casemiro is more in his prime, where you would say Danez more past it a little bit. 39. He's not in his prime, so to speak. Good evening, Raymond. I hope you're well. Good evening, Ray. I hope you're well. Okay, so let's do. I think it's either afraid. I think it's either you're afraid or I got balls. That's what I think. Lol. What's that about? Is that about Crawford?
Think it's either you're afraid or I got balls. What I think. No, I mean it's his third weight class. So how where does this slap want Crawford to go into his fifth weight class or something and
But
dominate?
the thing is, a lot of people would say that he doesn't beat Jamel Charlo. If he goes to 154, they'd say that he's not winning that fight. Jamel would knock him out. What do you
No,
make?
I can see Crawford being. I can see him being Jamel Charlo.
Really?
Mm, tough fight, but the thing is when you jumping up to a fight like an elite fighter like Jamel Charlo at his weight class, and this is your fourth weight class at 154. 21 pounds above what you started. Crawford will have to find a way to win. So you might not see him be dominant and destroying, the way he's been destroying fighters. He'll have to find a way to win. And
Is
I believe, like Floyd Mayweather, Crawford's got the ability to get the win against Jamel Charlo, and it would only be, we would rate him if he just got the win in it. Move for to like Jamel Charlo. He doesn't have to.
Burning Desire saying, I think Taylor v Crawford at 142 catch weight would be greatness. What do you think of that?
Crawford versus 142. Crawford would beat Josh Taylor easy 140, 147 or middles, whatever
Do you think
weight.
he knocks Crawford out?
No, Crawford will knock Josh Taylor out.
No. I mean, that's what I'm asking. Is Crawford knock Josh Taylor out?
Yeah, more than possible. More than possible. Yeah.
No. But do you think for sure
Yeah.
that he'd knock him out?
Yeah. Yeah. Stop him. Yeah, definitely.
So if you made a prediction, it's like with Spence, you were saying points, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
do you think Spence's levels above Taylor, for example?
Yes. I want to say levels, but definitely a couple of levels. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you think so? How would you see a Crawford Taylor fight playing out then?
Similarly to Jeff Vaughn.
All right. Okay. You think he beats him up?
Beats him up. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And stops him. What, brutal knockout or just like referee jumping in?
If the referee doesn't stop it, brutal.
So Burning Desire says Crawford stopped all the British fighters he's faced. No, he hasn't. He didn't stop Ricky Burns.
Ricky Burns was very tough, wasn't he? Was it
Yeah,
one thing?
yeah. He didn't stop Ricky Burns. No, he didn't stop.
It was 135, but
Yeah.
Ricky
So,
Burns was tough and durable and that. But
yeah.
Crawford had to. He outclassed him, didn't he?
Yeah, outclassed him. Yeah, that was when he won his first world title. Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford won his first world title against Ricky Burns. He actually fought him in the UK. That was a great performance by Crawford. I think that's when people got to know, especially over here in the UK, who Crawford was.
Yeah, I mean, with his dreadlocks.
Yeah. Did Burns get stopped by Broner? No, Burns never fought Broner. Burning Desire. He never fought Broner. I think his performance against Bradis Prescott was very good as well.
Crawford's.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Brady.
definitely, man. It just shows in it. Don't forget going into the Prescott fight. I don't think he was favorite, was he? He was. I think the
Yeah,
Prescott was
yeah.
favorite.
I think Crawford wasn't that favorite. He wasn't well known, you see. He
Mm,
wasn't well known. So yeah, but Crawford beat the brakes off Prescott.
yeah. See, this is what I mean. There's not a fight. There's not a fight where Crawford's not outclass someone or stop someone or just no one's giving him a close fight. You see,
Mm,
that's why I wouldn't be a fan of someone without real reason, and that's the reason where. And then people say he's not been tested, but he's fought good fighters. He's fought decent fighters, and he's made them look ordinary. Like,
mm. Yeah,
he's,
he's looking good, isn't he?
yeah,
Oof. He's looking good.
definitely.
He's definitely doing a lot. You got to give him credit. He's making his competition look quite, you know, nothing really. So yeah, you gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. But he's got to fight Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. He's got to fight Thurman, Errol Spence before he gets like the true credit at welterweight. Do you know what I mean?
But to be honest with you though, Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, if he beat Errol Spence, then them two fighters they got beat off Spence, so he doesn't have to fight them. If he fights their conqueror and beats him convincingly,
Hmm.
then no one can say, oh, but he's not for Danny Garcia, he's not for Porter. That would be stupid, isn't it? Really,
Mm. So
if you
Burning Desire is asking about Kid Galahad and Dickens and saying who wins. I personally think Kid Galahad beats Dickens as well. I think Kid Galahad had already beaten him. He's already stopped him, I believe, early on in their career. So I think Galahad will beat him again. So I don't think it'll be any different. Do you know much about Galahad and Dickens?
I don't know about Dickens, but Galahad, yeah, he's another Sheffield fighter, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Cowboy.
yeah.
But he's not actually lived up to the process. What he was meant to be when he first heard about his name in the UK, Kid Galahad and that, and he was someone to watch out for. But
Hmm.
but he's done all right. Not
Hmm.
nothing too special in it.
Yeah, so Stephen in the comment is not happy, saying no way he's beating Jamel Charlo.
Like I said, Crawford's got the ability to beat Jamel Charlo. I mean, he's got the talent. He's got all the tools required. You know what I mean, to get the win. It'll be against somebody who's going to be a lot bigger, stronger. But that's why he'll have to show his greatness in it. And I believe he's good enough to beat Jamel.
Really, you think he's good enough to beat Jamel Charlo?
Yeah.
Wow, I think he could outbox him, but I don't know whether he can keep it up for 12 rounds, man. Jamel's strong, and he could wipe Crawford out later on in that fight. That's a tough fight, man.
Look, Crawford would have to be careful because Jamel obviously hits hard. He's a natural 154
Yeah.
pounder, very very strong. And that what he'd have to do is he'd have to
Mm,
be careful a few rounds, and he'd have to figure him out and look just to box him. He'd have to box him really and try not to get into a fight with Jamel because obviously they're heavier-handed guys in it.
mm. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So
Um,
again, he'd have to find a way to win. When you move up weight classes, you have to find a way to win. When Floyd was at 130, 135, he had to beat the brakes of the fighters. When he jumped up to 140, that was another step, but he controlled that. But his jump from 140 to 147, that's where he had to use every ounce of his abilities to beat the fighters. You get what I'm saying?
mm,
So if Crawford was to do the same, 135, 140, he's dominated 147. He's doing the same. If you were to go to 154, he'd have to use all his experience to beat fighters, the top fighters there.
So Burning Desire said Wilder could win. I'm actually worried about this silence. So 118 or 122, who do you think can beat Inoue? I don't think anyone beats Inoue personally. Wilder gone quiet. So what do you make of this Wilder Fury thing, Ahmed? Who you got? I know you must know about that. Who you got in that one?
While the Fury, I got Fury again. I mean, Wilder is relying heavily on his big punch, and who said it? Like Oscar De La Hoya said, big punch, doesn't always win you the fight against an elite fighter. And Fury is an elite fighter, and he'd have to have an off night to get beat off Wilder, really.
What's going on, Gammo? You good?
Yo, what up? What up to the panel? We just tapping in. Can you hear me? Hold on. Yeah,
Yeah,
just got back from the
Can hear you,
gym. Yes, sir.
can hear you loud and clear, Gammo. Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Any Go
Yeah, the
on.
Pacquiao fight is gonna be at the T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
Thought,
I made a
yeah,
video about it. I just made a video
yeah,
about
man.
it.
I thought it was gonna be yeah. I caught your other live, like the playback, because I was busy, so I couldn't hop on. But the other dudes were making good points. But yeah, I thought it was gonna be at the MGM. I got my ticket, man. I had to spend well over 1,000. But it's
Was
all
it?
good. Yeah, man. I mean, they're selling out. If you look at the chart right now,
Oh yeah.
the seating, like a lot of seats have been sold already, and
Gammo,
it
I was gonna
hasn't
ask you a question. Gammo,
hasn't been 24 hours yet.
the tickets, right? Obviously, people thought that it might be in a 70,000 seater stadium at the Dallas because obviously more people can get the tickets there. How difficult is it going to be getting tickets now because of the fact that it's only 20,000, obviously, and this is a massive fight. I suppose it's going to sell
Yeah,
out like
man.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I just checked the seating chart earlier. It's selling, man. Um, they'll still be available for like the next week, but it'll get low.
Mm,
But it's because look, Vegas is premier elite fighting.
yeah,
Unlike Texas and Miami,
yeah,
they're not known for being fight states. Look, Miami, they like Vegas would never hold an exhibition. They
mm,
turned down Floyd. They
mm,
turned down Floyd. Floyd
yeah,
wanted to have it there, so he had to go to Miami.
mm,
Vegas is only elite top level boxing. That's why it's going to be
yeah,
in Vegas. And many legendary fights have happened in Vegas, not just Floyd, like notable ones. But T-Mobile Arena, this is going to be Pac's first fight there, as well as Spence. It's going to be their first fight there. But it's just across the street from the MGM, so I don't think it's going to be like any different. Um, we'll see, man. But it's a big arena, but 20,000, I don't think that's enough people. But it is a decent amount. I mean, and they're gonna do no distancing. So yeah, man, it's coming up too. Manny's looking fast. He's still got over a month. He's gonna rest though, the whole 2 weeks before the fight. He's just gonna be rested. He's
Gammo,
already gonna be conditioned. He's just gonna rest. Yeah.
Ray's asking, Team Manny wearing TMT hoodie. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I got the whole tracksuit gear and all that too. So I mean, we just got a lot. I got Loma gear, all that. We just came from the gym today. No, this was in the wardrobe. The Manny team.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that is what?
no, I'm
No,
kidding.
is
This
that
is
the Mayweather? Isn't that the
yeah,
Mayweather?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got all the Floyd stuff. I mean,
All right. Oh, you got
yeah,
all the
man.
Floyd.
This fight's gonna be spicy. I know everybody's gonna be there. I got some good tickets, man. Uh, real good tickets, like the best ones you could get. So yeah, for sure I had to drop the bands on it, US dollars. So
Gammo,
yeah,
what tomorrow
it is.
fight? Barrios Davis. Who wins?
Yeah, man. People were saying Tank was looking soft in the weigh-in
He was,
today.
man. He was. He
I
looked
mean,
all
yeah, he could have been more shredded for 140, man. Come on, like but I think he's just gonna stop Barrios to the body. Barrios is too slow, way too slow. He steps forward too. Tank's gonna just adjust and break his body down. That's what I'm predicting. Probably get it right.
he didn't.
Barrios
He
is too slow because you know how short people fight. If you're
mm,
shorter, you hit the taller guy to the body usually. Uh, so it's usually the game plan. It's how it works.
yeah. Basically, Barrios looked. I know body don't win fight, but he was ripped. He was in shape.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, he looks good. Barrios look conditioned. He look good.
mm,
He look ready to fight. Yeah, Tank. I don't know, man. I mean, people. I don't think he looked that soft, but he could have came more.
mm,
Tight, a little bit tighter. Uh,
yeah. Yeah. Steven's in the house. What's going on, Steven? Oh, he's gone. Steven's gone. Yeah. So, Ahmed, Gammo, predictions for tomorrow. Ahmed, what's your prediction for Barrios Davis?
I think it'll go to points. Barrios has never been stopped, has he?
No, Barrios is undefeated.
Undefeated, yeah, that's the one. It'll go to the distance, and I'm gonna go for a controversial win for Tank, probably.
Controversial win. What do you mean?
Yeah, a very close fight, really, and
Oh, okay.
difficult to pick a winner, to be honest with you.
Wow. Gammo? Gammo looks like he's got some connection issues. All right, okay, so oh, you're there, Gammo. Yeah, Gammo. What are you saying? Some prediction for what's his name? Gervonta and Barrios.
See, I think even this fight's gonna be on pay-per-view, whereas Loma versus Nakatani is free TV, and Loma versus Nakatani is a harder fight, man. See, and then you're charging pay-per-view, and then you're charging pay-per-view for this fight. But I mean, yeah, I think Tank's gonna stop him to the body late rounds, man. Just break him down. Wait for him to counter, step in. Barrios is slow-footed, flat-footed, just like how Floyd made his name fighting flat-footed fighters. So he knows the game. What'll work good with Tank's style. They already got matchmakers, man, that set it up. He's gonna break his body. Tank's good to the body, man, with a straight hook.
What do you make of the Lomachenko Nakatani fight?
Good fight, man. You see the weigh-ins?
Is the weigh-in happened yet?
Yeah, they just weighed in too. Nakatani looking ripped, looking ready. He's big as hell. I think he's like 5'11" minimum. He's 5'11", if not 6 feet. Yeah, Nakatani, he's 5'11" for sure, or 6 feet. He's taller than 5'10". Great fight. If Loma can put on a great world class performance, and show that he can neutralize that size, and he can outbox that size, or even if he stops him and breaks him down, that's a big deal. I'll be impressed if Loma stops him in a sensational fashion. But if he just outboxes him, I mean, I wouldn't mind, as long as he does it, or he's dominating, you know. If it's a fucking tooth and nail war, or it's like a draw, or you could split decision, shit, Nagatani better not get robbed. If he did win, so it's gonna be, I think, a better fight than Tank Barrios. I think Nagatani would beat Barrios. Nakatani shouldn't even be at 135. He's way too big. He's the biggest guy at 135, active, in height wise. He's the tallest registered at 135 pro, that's ranked.
Who's that, Nakatani or Barrios?
That'd be a good. See, I got Nakatani beating Barrios. I've seen both their fights. See, Barrios look a little slow-footed, man. I see Tank. His style is made for Tank. Just because he's bigger, nah.
But Gammo, do you think Tank's gonna have carry that power up to stop somebody like Barrios? You sound very confident.
Yeah, see, because Tank walks around.
You sound very confident that he'll KO him or that.
Yeah, because Tank walks around over 150, 160, and he probably will still have some of that power. And just him being heavier. See, he doesn't even have to be shredded. It's not really about a physique contest. Weighing in is just showing your condition and in shape, you know. But I think he will still have his power. And Barrios really is a blown up a featherweight, man. He started at 122. Barrios look in shape, but Barrios ain't. But see, Barrios compared to Regis, Josh Taylor, you could even say Yeah, there's Taylor, Regis, and then you got Jose
Baranchik,
Ramirez.
yeah,
Um,
Ramirez, Baranchik.
yeah, Branchik, I think, and then you got see those guys. I think are tougher competition than uh, Barrios. See,
Yeah,
Barrios is
without
like
question. Without
see,
question.
and he's getting the like a regular belt. So when Josh Taylor relinquishes his belts or moves up, Tank
Mm.
automatically gets elevated to the regular champ. So he gets that belt, and Floyd got him that deal with the sanctioning body.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So work smart, not hard. That's what Floyd says.
Mm. So if Gervonta Davis wins
Uh,
tomorrow night,
unless
guys.
they make him fight for it, unless the sanctioning body makes him fight for it, like if Josh Taylor relinquishes the belts, or see, they might just elevate him, or I hope they make him fight for it, but he gets the title because he has the regular one, So that's how it works.
Mm. Guys, Gamma, I want to ask you about Canelo and Plant. What do you make of that situation? Do you think Plant will get his 10 million plus that he wants?
Man, see, I think he's just outpricing himself. But I mean, if he knows Canelo wants that and he won't do anything, and he knows he can force the payday for the
Mm.
fight, and he's gonna take the fight, I think he'll do it. I mean, I think he's just waiting for that 10 million. I don't even know if the Canelo's team denied it
No,
or
they're still wait. I think they're still waiting for like this. I think I don't know what it's going to be on because obviously Caleb
no.
Plant
See,
with.
it is a big fight, man, because it
Oh,
is undisputed. But
yeah.
what Caleb Plant brings to the table, I think he is like a better, little bit more sharper version of Billy Joe Saunders. What people say.
Yeah.
I do see that in a way. I
Mm.
just don't see him beating Canelo anyway. I see him putting up like a good first 3-4 rounds, and then I see him starting to get broken down by Canelo, then eventually getting stopped in like the seventh or eighth, um, even for sure before 10. I don't see anybody at that weight. See that 160, 168 are weak right now. Even 154. Okay, 154 and then 160, 168 are kind of weak right now. Um,
Mm.
then 175, you want to go bigger. Yeah, those dudes, Dimitri Vivo and Artur Beterbiev, I think they could possibly beat Canelo if he goes up to 175. But if they move down,
Mm.
then it's even more even. But I don't know if he'll move up to 175. I'll be impressed if he goes up to 175. If he beats those dudes, then for sure, like I'll give him credit for that.
James D
That's a
says
tough
Canelo
one.
needs Plant to unify, so so they will come as close to giving him as they can. So basically, he's saying that they'll give him the money because he needs Plant to unify.
Yeah. Well, see, if I was Plant, I'll be good with like 7 million. Like I think because some contracts, this is how see Floyd knows this. Some contracts they like there's like a time like expiration, like they show you the contract and you can't make a negotiation reply. Like it's either take it or leave it. If you negotiate and you say something back, it's automatically canceled, and then you don't get the fight. You have to sign it immediately, what the contract says, or there's no or that money. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Mhm.
negotiate. You can't say, "Oh, but can you change this?" It's immediately changed. It's you sign it there and you'll get that money. But it's all on those terms, like weight of the gloves, weight, hydration, all that shit. Uh, you know,
Mm.
glove size. But
Gamma,
What do
dude,
you?
Canelo will stop Caleb Plant.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I think he stops him. Yeah, go on,
He needs
Ahmed.
to
What were you?
fight Jake Paul, man. If he really wants the money, because Jake Paul has been trying to fight him.
Jake Paul
So I think they
fighting?
can do that on the Canelo on the zone. I think they can do that.
That would be
Because
crazy
they,
though.
yeah, man. I mean, because they both could use the money, and Jake Paul's been calling him out on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, man. I don't know if he's been dissing him for like the past whole year, calling him out, saying he's not fighting anybody and let's fight. Because they could do it on the zone. He already fought on the zone. Remember, Eddie
Mhm.
Hearn turned him pro, gave him the contract, so they could work that out on the zone. Think of it, that fight would be huge.
Yeah, but that could be dangerous, man. Jake Paul's
well,
not a boxer.
Canelo is fighting guys Jake Paul's size though. All these guys he's been fighting, like these big UK guys, are like Jake Paul size or a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but they're boxers though. Jake Paul's not really a boxer.
See, Jake Paul would take the money for the fight, and he would
Oh
believe
yeah,
he could
yeah.
stop
Obviously,
Canelo
I
because he
don't
calls
know.
him because Jake Paul talks shit. He calls him a short guy. He calls him a little guy, and he tries to get on his bet. Like he was calling out Connor too. Like he was like little guys. So yeah, man. And he just signed to Showtime, right?
Yeah, but I don't think
Jake
that
Paul,
would be good
yeah.
for that won't be good for like that'd be dangerous, man. There's no way Canelo would. There's no way Canelo would end. I don't think Canelo would entertain that. Gamma. Why would he entertain fighting a YouTuber?
Maybe sometime down the line, that's a huge money like grab right there. If Canelo really thinks he could beat him.
But
He would
Canelo's
make
gonna.
over. I think he for sure they would give him over 20 million for that. I mean, that's huge. You could stage that anywhere in the U.S., like New York, Texas, Florida, Miami.
But I think for
That could sell
that
out
type of
70,000. That could sell out 70,000. See, like so. That's why Jake Paul's been pushing for that fight. He knows like he's trying to get Canelo to take it. Like even if he gets older, still to take it because he knows he can just bully him, box dirty.
I don't know, man. I think that's dangerous for someone's health, man. I wouldn't like that fight, man. Not as a. I think it's just dangerous, to be honest.
Canelo's in the prime of his career, and at the moment he's trying to add to his legacy.
Yeah,
People like Jake Paul, these entertainment stuff that can come after for a minute.
yeah. I'm not sure. I think Gammo's right down the line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's trying to get on his nerves so much that I think he wants to have that fight there, like whether it be exhibition or professional bout. So yeah, man. See, I'd like to see Jake Paul. What do you think, Jake Paul versus Caleb Plant? I think that's I think that's a good fight, man. I think Jake Paul could win that fight, man.
What, against Caleb Plant?
Yeah, because they're gonna put him against like pros because he's building his record. So
Gammo, man, you really rate Jake Paul, man. He's not.
man. Because they're gonna put him in with these pros now. So I'm just it's crazy how he broke in, but now he's gonna. I heard the next year or so they're gonna put him in like with like a Badu Jack or something on Showtime. Yeah, man. So that's what I was hearing.
He would get hurt in those type of fights, man. They're proper world champions. I don't think he's not gonna fight those guys. Like he's fighting you. He's not even for one professional boxer yet, Gammo.
Yeah, these fight. These are like exhibition fights, man. It's not real boxing.
Yeah.
But when you put him in with a pro, yeah, I mean, shit. I'd like to see him fight Caleb Plant.
Really, you like to see Jake Paul fight Caleb Plant?
You think Caleb Plant could stop him?
You think like boxing?
You think like people like boxing egos say these things too. Like they believe if you put Jake Paul in there with like maybe a Caleb Plant, like he could win.
Who's saying that?
People like boxing ego. I don't even want to bring up names, but who cover like all of these things going on in boxing, like sports entertainment.
Gammo, I think Plant or any half decent boxer would destroy Jake Paul. I don't know. I can't believe you think that he could beat Plant. How do you think he'd beat Plant?
Just using his size, man. I think he's a little bit bigger. I think he could bully him, man, and get dirty. Because I seen him fight dirty, man. When you gotta, but yeah, man. It's crazy how these boxing is basically become gentrified now. Yeah.
I wouldn't like to see Jake Paul against any like world level boxer.
What did you make of that whole Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao?
Oh, that was just, again, I think that was like publicity. I'm not sure that was Was that? What do you know? You must know about that. What was that all about?
Oh yeah, I mean, there was an actual contract presented, but it really didn't like move forward at all. It wasn't, but that whole thing was a big publicity PR stunt on Ryan's team. And then he got that whole Gatorade deal after. Yeah, big publicity stunt. But man, if that it was gonna be an exhibition, because the I think either the Saudis or they wanted it in Dubai.
Mm.
It was the purse they were gonna give Pacquiao and Crawford, that 40 million. So I think it was the Saudis interested because they knew they both had a following. So
I,
yeah, it was never gonna happen after Pacquiao changed his mind. He put him on the list for a bit with Crawford, Spence, and Mikey, but he threw him out of the list after a while. He was like, "Nah, this okay, like nah." Maybe after down the line, if when he retires, he'll do an exhibition with him. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Because he does owe one exhibition in a contract to Paradigm Sports. He
mm.
signed with the one with Conor McGregor. They have the same agency with that, or same agent. So he is due for one exhibition. Because he was gonna do it. Remember, he was gonna fight Conor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then he got knocked out in UFC.
Yeah. So, do
That
you think
changed everything,
Manny's
man.
going to fight
Yeah.
Conor still in the future?
Oh yeah, for sure. When he retires, and he'll just outbox him for the money, and then he'll use some of it for charity and like probably like buy another house or something.
So was that if Conor didn't lose against Poirier, right? Was that fight a done deal?
Oh yeah, for the Saudis wanted that. They've been trying to get Joshua Fury.
Hmm.
They did have Ruiz AJ too. So they've been trying to just get big fights, whether it just be people with a big social media following or just big boxing legends. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, man. Yeah, it would have happened for sure because they know Connor had a whole huge following in Ireland and he's big in the UK too, um, and in America as well. So, and in Pacquiao fight, so that's already a huge combat like event itself
Hmm.
that you could sell out the 70,000 arena. So for sure, he'll do it, and probably after this fight next year, he'll have one exhibition. I think that'll be it. That's probably it on the timeline. I don't think if he has one more for Crawford,
Hmm.
man, that's you just have to go from like after this fight, but that's too much, man. I think he should just beat Spence and have that exhibition with Conor, and that's it.
What? So who does Crawford fight next? Ahmed, Gammo, give your opinions. Who does Crawford fight next?
It should be who should he fight? Who the fight fans? As a fight fan, I want to see him fight the winner of Spence Pacquiao.
Yeah, but
And
that aside, they're tied up. Who else like do you want to see him fight? If that doesn't happen, he's not going to fight them in October, is he?
someone like
See,
Jaron Boots Ennis. I was listening to the
Oh.
interview today. If he's an up and coming and for he wants to step in with the big boys already because he wants to move up to 154 soon. I don't think Jaron Boots Ennis is going to stay at 147 for long. And somebody like him to fight Crawford would be a good spectacle, really.
Right. Okay. What do you think, Gammo?
yeah, man. See, all of these fights we want him to have as a fight fan, we know he's not gonna get this year until next year. So he's probably just gonna get one fight just to finish up his contract. I think he has one more fight due. He'll get that guaranteed, I think, 4 million, and then he's off to MTK, I think, possibly. But this year, man, shit, I wouldn't mind Josh Taylor, but that's already settling, man. That's not who we want him to fight. That's just who they have at that stable and at top rank. Bob could put him in with.
Gammo, how do these fights go against Jose Crawford v Jose Zepeda, right? Who they're talking about? Crawford v Taylor. How do you see those fights going?
Yeah, see, I think he could possibly stop both of them. I think he beats
Yeah,
both of them. It's not a fight where he could possibly lose. See, we want to see him in a
yeah.
fight where he could like possibly lose or it's 50-50, you know?
Mm.
Like with Spence, that's like, okay, we don't know. Like something or even a Keith one-time Thurman or a Sean
Mm.
Porter. I don't want to see
Mm.
Danny Garcia anymore. I think not at 147. That's already a washed fight. Um,
Mm.
so there's really I don't like who they're matching him up with, Zepeda and I'd rather see him fight Taylor. And if he fights Taylor, make that shit in Scotland, man. So there's more pressure
Mm.
on Bud to perform.
Does he knock him
I think
out?
they'd probably rob him.
Rob who?
Yeah, they'd probably knock him.
No, do you think Crawford will
Rob
knock
Bud.
Taylor out? No, do you think
Yeah,
Crawford
for
knocks
sure.
Taylor
I
out though?
mean, probably, yeah, most likely if they go 12. I don't think it'll go 12. I think Bud just is another whole class above him
Yeah,
in
yeah, I agree.
technicalities, footwork, switching up, game plan, adjusting. I don't think Taylor has seen this type of opponent. I think it'll
No,
take
no,
us. I think Bud will hand him his first loss, but it'll be a good
Mm.
one. I think he'll put up a good first 4 rounds, and then I think he'll start getting caught in like 7, and then I
Mm.
believe Bud could stop him in like 10 or 11.
All right,
Because
Stephen.
I haven't seen Taylor like really, yeah, you know.
Yeah, Stephen. What did you make of what Gammo said there?
First of all, I was cracking, man. Sorry I wasn't
Good.
able to connect earlier, man. Had some technical difficulties, man.
No worries, man. No worries. You're
What
here
do I
now.
think about what?
You're here now. You're here
Sounds like
now.
I'm having some more technical.
Sounds like what?
Sounds like I'm having some more issues, technical issues.
No, you're not. We can hear you.
Okay, cool. So what do I think about what Gammo said?
Yeah, yeah.
I think Gammo's, you know what I'm saying? I think he's on the money, man. I think Crawford stops Josh Taylor. But
Mm.
it may happen before the 12th round. You know, the 12th round, by the time you get
Mm.
to the 12th round, you kind of worn down.
Mm.
And somebody who is gonna impose their will like Crawford will, and he has so many tools. I see him wearing Josh Taylor down before the 12th, man. I'm thinking maybe around the 8th, 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I believe
yeah,
Crawford. I believe Taylor will catch him though, like in the first 4 rounds, because Crawford is. I mean, you can see him a little chinny, but I mean he doesn't get knocked out. I mean, but you do see him get caught and kind of wobbled a little bit, but he does come back and like recuperate fast, recover fast. But I could see Taylor catching him like in the first 4 rounds, and that's it. No more success after that. I see. Yeah, pretty much.
You see,
I
Crawford.
I can see Taylor. I could go ahead. I mean, sorry about that.
No, it's all right, Stephen. Go on.
No, I was saying I can see Taylor catching my man
But
Terence Bud Crawford on the chin and pissing him off and awakening
yeah,
that inner dog in him, that
yeah.
werewolf in him.
That
You know what I'm
wolf comes
saying?
out.
Yeah,
That,
that wolf gonna come out.
Yeah,
that's what he
definitely.
did with Kavalauskas, Stephen. He got hit, he got wobbled, and then he stopped him.
Yep. That's exactly what happened, man. Nah, man, you don't want to do that, man. You're gonna awaken that wolf. That woo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you know what it is. It's that Taylor. I think he needs to probably fight someone at 147 first, man. You don't want to go in there with Terence straight away at 147, man.
Nah,
No way.
man, you don't want to do that. Nah, hell no.
No, you get beat up, man. But so Stephen, they're talking about Zepeda, man. They're talking about do you like these fights, man? Zepeda, Taylor, what do you think they do for Crawford? Do you like these fights? No
Nah,
disrespect.
man. I mean, this not a good fight for him, man. I mean, what are you doing fighting Zepeda?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's for you, man. That's why we're sitting here talking about him now. That's why so much criticism now. Man, stop fighting them fighters, man, like Zepeda, man. Step on up to the plate, man. Call Sean Porter out. Hell, call Boo Simmons out. You want to play it safe?
But
Build
that's what
your
I mean.
name,
Even
man.
if he
It's not.
fights Taylor, Stephen, everyone's going on about Taylor. What I'm saying is, does that fight move the needle for you? Does that fight make you say, you know what, Crawford's a killer?
Not so much the Taylor fight. It's gonna give him a little bit more credence.
Yeah,
but the Taylor fight is not so bad. But that's a pay to fight, man. That's horrible. That's horrible.
But the thing is, Stephen, here's the thing. He beats Taylor, right? People are going to say, oh, well, he beat up on a smaller guy at 140.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean is, from a standpoint, if he's not going to get the same credit as beating a Sean Porter, will he?
No, he's not. He's not going to get the same. Yeah, he's not going to get the same. But you know what? Imran? That's his fault. That's nobody's fault but Terence Bud Crawford for always playing it so safe and playing it low key and not calling out these fighters. I know you feel a certain type of way, Ahmed, that I'm saying this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. That's Taylor's own fault, him not getting out there. So you're gonna criticize him whether he does or doesn't at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, Crawford's best chance. I mean, outside of Spence and Pacquiao, I think somebody like if he can't get Sean Porter, somebody like Boots Ennis, man, big strong puncher, big other way prospect coming through to take care of somebody like him at this stage of Boots Ennis's career would be pretty good as well, don't you think?
That's a dangerous fight.
Yeah, man, I agree.
You know what it is though. Boots Ennis doesn't bring a lot to the table. But Boots Ennis doesn't bring a lot to the table.
No.
Stephen, you there? Yeah, Stephen looks like he's got a bit of an issue. But yeah, Gammo, what do you make of it?
Yeah, man, that's not the fights we want to see, man. These look bad on his record, man, with the competition he's already had at 147. The best fucking win at 147, I give him his Horn, man, just because Horn technically beat Manny Pacquiao. Technically, so he beat the guy. See, what people say is, oh, Jeff Horn beat the guy that beat Manny Pacquiao. So, I mean, Crawford beat the guy that beat Manny Pacquiao. So,
that's what I'm saying, Gammo. What do you make of Crawford v Ennis? Do you think he gets credit for that fight? Because Ennis is still unknown commodity, man.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, I know Ennis is strong, man.
Yeah,
I think he definitely,
we all know him. Yeah,
he definitely is great, right? I mean, I like him right now, but people say he's too green or it's too early. I just don't think the promoters would make it happen right now, man. Because with what I know of the politics in boxing, even with Virgil Ortiz, he won't get the Bud Crawford fight right now, man. I think there's a better chance with Virgil Ortiz, but Boots Ennis, no, man. I don't think they're gonna match him up. I don't think Bob would ever do that, or not even right now. Yeah.
Don't you think Boots Ennis would beat somebody like a Danny Garcia though at this stage?
Yeah, Boots Ennis for sure. We could beat Danny Garcia now. He'll probably beat Mikey Garcia. He'll give Thurman a good fight. I'll give Porter a good fight. He'll probably beat Amir Khan, beat Adrian Granados. He'll beat. There's another guy. There's this other dude. His name is he was the mandatory for Abdul Kokarov. He's like super low key. He's like rated top 10. Abdul Kokarov. Fight that guy should at least. But man, Taylor, nah. Rather see Taylor, man, just because he is unified. I mean, undisputed. But man, bro, he's not getting these premier prime fights, man. Like who has he beat like in their prime? That's a marquee fight, like a legacy fight that cements his name in like boxing history.
Do you think Gamboa?
See, that was at the lower weights, man, too. So
yeah.
I mean, that was a good.
What about
fight.
Postal?
That was a good fight.
Really good wins.
Bud Crawford, I think he had an easy world championship fight at 135, and like the competition at 140 isn't what it is, and like as good as it is now, and at 140 147. This is where he's like struggling to get the fights. 135, when he was at 135, it was kind of dry, man. Just how like 154 is kind of dry right now. Yeah. Because, man, when he was
I
at
would love to see.
135,
Yeah. So if we look at, so he wanted to fight Pacquiao. That fight didn't happen between Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. I don't know. Stephen, you there?
I'm here. I think I'm here, man.
Yeah, you're here, man. You're here. I hear you. I hear you. So Crawford Ennis, you were talking about. I don't know. So I was basically saying to you, Stephen, I don't think Ennis brings a lot to the table. He's not a big name, right? He's a good fighter, dangerous. But what does Crawford get? If Crawford beats Ennis, they'll be like, oh well, Ennis was green. Crawford just beat a guy that was green and a prospect. So what does he gain from that fight? He needs to fight a Porter, someone proven, accomplished.
No, but I'll tell you, Imran. So sorry, Stephen, for interrupting.
No
Ennis
problem.
could be another Canelo Alvarez. Don't forget, Ennis is 23-24, a very highly rated prospect coming through.
Yeah, but Canelo got schooled against Mayweather when he fought Mayweather. So this is what I'm trying to say, that yeah, he could be, but then remember, Floyd don't get the credit. Like Steven said the other day, oh well, Floyd beat Canelo Alvarez. That's not the Canelo Alvarez of today. So
no, Floyd got enough credit for that. Maybe not the ultimate credit, but he got
not
a lot
now.
of credit.
Not now he doesn't, because look what Canelo's gone on to achieve. So he's not got the same credit.
But this is what I mean. Ennis, this is the only time Crawford has not got that much long left in the game. So if he was to beat somebody like Ennis, who could go places, you know, if he was to stop him at this stage, and it'd look good in the future for a minute, because we probably will see Ennis win titles here and there, you know, maybe 154 as well.
You know what I think?
Yeah.
This is what I think. I think that Boots in this fight is a good fight for Bud, because okay, now you can use the analogy or the comparison from with Canelo and Floyd to a certain extent. The only difference is we saw Canelo was a young gangster. We saw he was a young killer, but we didn't think we didn't see him like we see Boots Ennis. Everybody sees Boots Ennis as a total, all the boxing hardcores, maybe not the public, the large public in general, but anybody that knows anything about boxing, they think Boots Ennis is a straight up killer. So I think there's a lot for him to gain out there, and it's a safe fight too, because I mean there's no way Boots beats Terence Crawford at this stage. So he got a good win. He got a good, solid, quality win and it's a name that somebody knows. I think he'll prove a lot by this. This will do wonders for his career. He just needs to make something like that happen. And it don't gotta be Boots. It could be Virgil Ortiz. It could be. Go ahead.
Stephen, Ray's basically saying in the chat that Canelo was a world champion. Boots ain't got no belt.
Yeah, I know that. I understand that, Ray. And he's not wrong about that. I'm just saying the perception. The perception was, we think Boots is the second coming of Christ or Muhammad or Buddha, whoever you worship. We think that's him. That's what everybody thinks about Boots. They weren't thinking that about Canelo. Wasn't nobody thinking about now. There was a couple of people like myself, and I'm sure Ray, since he said something, we thought Canelo was superb, but we didn't think he was a killer like Boots. Am I right?
So you think that remember, Stephen, when Canelo fought Floyd, you don't think that Canelo is more highly rated than this Boots Ennis right now?
No.
Really?
This Boots Ennis right now is everybody's talking about Boots Ennis. From Mass Killer Man to Jim Lampley to you name it, they talking about Boots Ennis. If you was to wake Muhammad Ali up from the dead and ask him who he say Boots. He say Boots, man.
But here's the thing, Stephen. Boots Ennis,
Yeah,
if you put him against the best pound for pound fighter right now, nobody would say he wins that fight. When Canelo fought Floyd, there was a lot of people that thought Canelo would beat Floyd.
But let's okay.
Don't you think?
Well,
Can you remember before that fight, there was people that thought Canelo would beat Floyd? I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying there was people that thought that Canelo would beat Floyd because he'd be too big, too strong, and Floyd's getting on.
well, sure. That's the case with anything. Then that's the case with anything. There's gonna be a small percentage of somebody. There's something for everybody. There's gonna be a small percentage of people that think X, Y, and Z. I'm saying the perception of Boots is immense at this point. Is overwhelming at this point. I think everybody in this chat knows that Boots is the real deal. He about the business. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Boots the real ass deal. Boots knock your ass out.
Because
Boots has shown.
Crawford, you could see.
What's Gammo's
Boots has shown he's very fundamentally sound. He could come forward. He could take one to give one, but he just needs to be tested. I'm going up fighting higher ranked guys. I think he could possibly give Keith Thurman a run for his money. He needs to fight somebody at that level at welterweight. You know, somebody top 5, and then go from there. But I like Boots, man. He could compete with Thurman. I don't think he's gonna get those fights though, man. So I don't know who they're gonna match him up with. Shit, match him up with Crawford, but Bud ain't gonna get that fight for.
Yes, sir.
They're not happy in the comment section. There's James Deere saying, everyone, why does he keep saying everyone has to agree with him? And then Donda 555 says, Canelo was a step above Ennis, but he is the next one up. But we can't just talk. He has to prove it. How many upcomers never filled their shoes, lived up to his potential? Your response.
James Deere is always coming at me, man. He's always coming at me. I don't really, I didn't hear the question real good because I was through like the mountains, and I'm driving across the bridge right now. But I do know that James is always coming at me. What you got to say to me, James? What's up, man?
Basically, this is James. There, it's on the screen. Everyone, why does he keep saying everyone has to agree with him? So basically, you said that everybody
doesn't have to agree.
No, basically, you said everyone in the chat.
Everybody doesn't have to.
No. Basically, I think he's responding to something that you said, because you said everyone in the chat would agree with him that Ennis is, or something like that. What did you say again? I can't remember, man.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Go to somebody else until I get over this bridge.
Get over what?
Give me just a second until I get it. Could you go to somebody else, because I can't hear you good right now.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right, Ahmed. So it looks like Gammo and Steven have disappeared. So yeah. So go carry on. So yeah. Well, where were we at? Was Ennis a step above Canelo at the time?
I believe the round he was slightly below Canelo, I think, because don't forget Canelo had over 40 fights as well, and he was in with a few top fighters before he fought Floyd. So and people did expect him to perhaps beat Floyd as well. There were people, but like you said, Ennis is not. No one's saying Ennis would beat Crawford, but he's one of the names out there that could cause him a lot of problems at this stage.
Yeah, so everyone, Stephen, everyone's not happy in the comment section about the fact that you say Ennis is rated higher than Canelo. Even Donda 555 said it's blasphemy to say Ennis is rated higher than Canelo at age 23.
Well, man, I don't know, man. Sometimes you feel battle. I mean, because everybody knows, how important Boots is, and they're highly touted he is. Now, I mean, because they're not entirely wrong, I'll agree to that. I agree to to Canelo being equal or even higher rated than Boots at this stage. But let's let's just face the fact. Right now, Boots Boots is a for real killer. And with regards to Boots versus Terence Crawford, Terence Crawford. Just out the simple fact that he fight Boots and he beat Boots. I don't want to always, have a battle of, because I've already said on several different Canelo was he was the real deal. Canelo was still the real.
You don't have to agree with people, man. It's your opinion, man. You can say what you want, bro. Oh, he's gone again. So Ahmed, Ahmed. So Christian says, I'd say Ennis and Ortiz needs to step up. At their age, Canelo was already fighting Floyd, Trout, and Baldomir. What would you say?
Yeah, no, like I said, Canelo's more highly rated than Ennis at the time. Just before he fought Floyd, Canelo was a world beater almost just before he fought Floyd, and I think he was rated a bit. He was a bit more. He was known more into the mainstream, innit, and the casuals as well compared to Ennis at the moment. All the hardcores, obviously, we know how good Ennis is, and just to put him in the conversation with Crawford at the moment, it says a lot about him, to be honest with you. And I can see him beat Danny Garcia at this stage. I can even see him beat Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and I see him there. But I just think he needs one major fight against one of them names before he goes into a Crawford, because you need to get a big time confidence. So if he was to fight a Sean Porter, or if he was to fight a Danny Garcia or a Keith Thurman, victory over one of them would give him that confidence.
Stephen, so as I was saying before you got connection, basically what I was saying is you don't have to agree with people. It's your opinion, man. You're entitled to say what you feel like. Do you know what I mean? You're saying what you feel. What Sargent says, he says Canelo beat Austin Trout in his prime when he was 23. So basically Christian says Canelo was fighting already Floyd, Trout, Baldomir when he was at 23, whereas Ennis is fighting nobody.
Yeah, and that is the case right now. I mean, those are facts. Those names you just the Austin Trout, all those are that's in the books. So Boots needs to step it up too. Right now, there's a large pool of talent in the welterweight division where these guys could be making a name for themselves. So that is a legitimate criticism that I have for Boots. Was not be a quality win, and I say he would be an incredible win for Terence Crawford, beating somebody highly talented like that. Now we can pretend like we don't know who Boots is, but everybody knows in this chat how gangster Boots is right now.
Yeah,
is that fair?
I agree, man. I agree. He's good. Ennis is good. But again, we need Ennis to step up against one of the top guys and beat one of them before people start taking him serious. Do you know what I mean, Stephen?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just hearsay, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
It's just like, all right, people are saying he's good, but how good is he? We don't know.
I think for Jaron Ennis, a best style for him to be at this stage, even more than Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, would be a Sean Porter. I think he would test a lot of his tools.
Yeah, I think Sean would test quite a bit.
Can you imagine if Ennis beat Sean Porter at this stage, being only 23, 24 years old?
Yeah,
I appreciate it. You're right, man.
Do you think he beats Porter? You guys, do you think he beats Porter?
I don't know. I don't know. I know Ahmed's gonna say yeah, probably.
I think he is capable of, yeah.
Really?
What I tell you.
What do you think, Stephen?
I think he's capable of beating him. But for me, that's a 50-50 fight. And I genuinely mean that when I say that that's a 50-50 fight. Sean Porter's been around the block 5 or 6 times, and he knows how to fight. He knows every trick in the book. He's seen fighters like Terence Bud Crawford. So for me, that's a 50-50 fight. I can't even pick that fight.
So AM says Sean Porter's too much for Ennis right now.
No, I disagree, man. Ennis is skillful. He's got power. The one thing with Ennis, he's got a lot of power at 147.
What? So Michael Susada says Ortiz gonna kill that boy.
He gonna kill who?
Ennis.
Nah, he ain't gonna kill Ennis, man. Stop it.
That's
Put that out, man.
That's what Michael Sasuda is saying. He's saying Ortiz is gonna kill that boy.
Nah, he ain't gonna kill him.
He might Ennis in that fight. I favor Ennis in that one. I think Ennis is
I favor. Yeah,
I think Ennis is fundamentally.
Yeah, stop that.
We've got another guest on, a new Breezos. What are you saying, brother?
What's up, everyone? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm actually in LA, and then the live stream yesterday, man, I wanted to join, but you guys were like cutting into my work hours. So I was like, let me just catch a break real quick and join the convo.
Yeah, man. Basically, what are you making of what we're talking about? Ennis and Virgil Ortiz and what, like Canelo? Did you catch it? What do you make of all of that?
I caught the Sean Porter talk with Terence Crawford. In terms of that fight, I just think that Sean Porter has too much experience. Like whether it comes to, I actually think that fight is actually leaning a little towards Sean Porter, because when it comes to like fighting actual competition,
which fight, Breezos?
Sean Porter and Crawford.
Oh, you actually favor Porter against Crawford?
I actually favor Porter just a little bit. I'm talking about maybe 51-49, simply for the fact that Porter has lost some of his major fights, but the fact of the matter is he's been in there. You know what I mean? Like he's had the large crowds, and I think people tend to forget Porter's been in like a 20,000 20,000 seat arena before. I think Crawford at the most has probably only been, with maybe 10,000, 12,000. I can't remember the con numbers, but I know that, outside of Omaha, Bud's not getting that kind of, that pressure from the other side.
Breezos, I can see Ahmed steam coming out from Ahmed's ears right now. Do you know what I mean? By you saying that he's what do you call it? That he's gonna beat Crawford. Go on, Ahmed.
I mean, everybody knows what Porter's about. Everybody knows what Porter brings to the table, and such a high quality fighter like Crawford will be able to neutralize somebody like Sean Porter. One way he only knows how to fight. Porter's got no skills to compete with Crawford. You know what I mean?
That's harsh. That's harsh. Porter's got skills, man.
No, compared to someone like Crawford, he's on a different level.
What? But to say Porter's got no skills, he had a split decision with Spence.
Yeah,
Spence has got skills, hasn't he?
Go
on, Breezos.
The thing is, though, we rate Terence Crawford's skills based on the opposition he's fought. And I agree. Eye test, if we're strictly talking eye test, I think Crawford, no doubt, top 3 fighters, skill test, based on the eyes, But just the fact that I've yet to see him with someone that truly tested him and pushed him to his limits. I mean, whether we want to call the Kai Velasquez knockdown a knockdown or not, I mean, we know that Crawford, based on experiences from Gamboa as well, that he can be chinny. And Porter has showed he can take Errol's punch, he could take Danny's punch, he could take Keith's punch. So, I'm just saying we're not giving Porter enough credit in this sense. But do I agree based on the eye test that Crawford has the goods to beat any fighter? Absolutely. I'll be an idiot to not agree with that,
And you know what, man? That's what you just said was spot on, and that's the sad thing about Sean Porter. Is the fact that he, despite all his achievements in the ring and even outside the ring, he's shown his IQ for boxing. Despite that, he's still underrated. and people still won't give him his props. But Sean Porter is a
Steven,
beast.
Ahmed said Porter's got no skills. Your response? But
Man,
Steam's coming out your ears. I know Steam's coming out your ears when you heard that.
Yeah, it is, because that's horrible. We seen Sean Porter fight in every style from Joe Frazier to a slick boxer. When he fought Fortuna, he was slick as slick could be. Man, you gotta put some respect on my man's name, man.
And also,
I'm gonna take it back a little bit. But all I'm saying is, compared to Terence Crawford, you know what I mean? The Terence is levels above Porter, isn't it? You know, skills wise. I'm saying.
But can I add another note? Let's not forget that the man of the hour, Mr. Manny Pacquiao, the senator, Sean Porter used to spar with the guy. So I mean, whether or not he's been in the ring with officially with Pacquiao, he has that experience as well. I'm not really sure what Terence's sparring situations look like, but I know Porter's been in there with some legends, man.
Yeah, Ahmed, that is true.
Ahmed, do you see? Yeah, go on.
All I'm saying is, you know what to expect from Porter. If when Crawford goes in with Porter, he knows what he needs to neutralize. You know what I mean? He's a come forward
I get what you're
fighter.
saying. I get what you're saying, but that doesn't mean he's going to be able to do it, though. It's like you know, like for example, right? If Porter went in there with Maidana, you know what Maidana's going to do. Mayweather's a better fighter than Crawford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say Mayweather's better fighter? Okay. So Mayweather knew what Maidana was going to do, but why couldn't he stop it? Do you know what I mean? Do you see where I'm coming from, Steven?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Mayweather knew what Maidana was going to do, but why couldn't he stop him?
So Mayweather at 147 didn't have enough power, though.
Yeah, but Crawford doesn't have enough power. Like what are we basing Crawford's power on, though, Ahmed?
Crawford's very powerful for 147. No, not many people can stop Jeff Horn in 9 rounds. That you all don't understand. Jeff Horn's a come forward fighter. He's a bit like a Sean Porter. He's a bit like them type of fighters. And look what Crawford did.
But Jeff Horn isn't as athletic as Sean Porter. And Sean Porter, I believe, when he started fighting, Sean Porter started fighting, I think, at 154. I know he fought with Usyk in the amateurs. Like, Sean Porter's a big guy. I think that Sean Porter has to do an immense amount of work to stay in shape to stay at 147.
Listen,
even here's the thing. Did you know that?
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Crawford at 147, right? The two accomplished fighters that he fought with names that were good in their day at once a time was Khan and Brook, right? And both of them were really past it when he fought them. They were finished, man. They were finished. So they're the two accomplished guys that he fought in, like, that were washed, really. The rest of the guys aren't accomplished. The rest of the guys haven't even been world champion, apart from Horn. The rest aren't even world champion, never been world champions. Kabialowska's never been a world champion. Horn, really, should he have been a world champion? Because most people thought he lost to Manny Pacquiao, right? So, and what's the other guy he fought? Benavidez. That man had one leg, man. That guy was limping. So this is what I'm saying, Ahmed. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, the two guys that he fought, right? Amir and Kell, that were the accomplished guys that actually had these, in their careers, had won world titles. They were one guy's eye was damaged, one guy was inactive, and he was finished completely. He wasn't a top level. They weren't top level guys anymore, man. So they're the two big names that he's got on his resume. And unfortunately, they were just not those guys anymore. So what I'm saying is the other guys that he fought weren't accomplished like that. So we can't judge his power of beating the guys that he's beat, because he's either fought guys that were past their best, right, or he's fought guys that weren't top level. Well, see, Benavidez, he's not even in the top 10 right now. Benavidez isn't even in the top 10 welterweights right now. Kabialowska's, he's on a stretch in the top 10. I'm talking at a stretch, right? And the other one that what's the other one that he fought? Horn. He's in another weight class now. So what I'm saying is, how good were those? Like, what I'm saying is, yes, he dismantled those opponents and he outclassed them. I get all of that. But you've got to look at it the other side, man. Porter would be by far way better than anything he's been in there with, man.
Here, man,
Yeah,
and to add to your point, Kell Brook was giving Crawford some problems until he got hit. I think Kell Brook at the first like sense of like a little bit of danger, he kind of, not to call him a quitter because he's far from that. Obviously, he fought Triple G and he fought Errol Spence to the best of his abilities. But I feel like as soon as he like felt a little bit more danger, he felt a little uncomfortable. He kind of, he didn't want to fight that Crawford fight anymore.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean, Brizos. That they were damaged both. Not just Brook. Khan did exactly the same thing in the fight, right? The same thing. They weren't. You see, when you're past your best, you don't have that mentality of a killer. You're not hungry. Do you know what I mean? So, like for example, when we saw back in the day when they were in their prime, like when Kell Brook fought Porter or when Khan fought Maidana, they went through that difficulty because at that time they had a mindset of a killer. They didn't care of being in danger. They wanted to go through and win because you're hungry, you're young, you're determined. They didn't have that mindset. When you get older, you don't have that mindset anymore. You have a more civilian, you're more of a civilian than a fighter. Fighters aren't like civilians. Fighters are willing to put themselves at risk to get wins. You know what I mean? But when you become a civilian or you become more of a businessman, then when things get tough in there, you don't want to know anymore. You don't want to go through those deep waters anymore. And unfortunately, like I said, I think you're right. Brook was giving him a bit of trouble with the jab, but it was always inevitable what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Crawford was just sussing him out. Crawford always starts slow. Majority of his fights, he starts slow. Then eventually he picks it up. But as soon as Kell Brook got hit, the fight was a wrap. So
and that's a good point as well. Crawford's known to start slow, but when does Sean Porter start slow? Just like we're banking on Manny Pacquiao to win the first couple rounds with Spence, just based on activity alone. I'm pretty sure you can bet that Porter will win the beginning rounds against someone like Crawford.
Yeah, but can I say something? That's what everybody was saying about Amir Khan.
What?
And how did Crawford start against him?
Yeah, but again, Ahmed, he was like Amir Khan wasn't the same guy, man. Ahmed, you've seen Khan's career. That wasn't the same Khan that fought Maidana.
No. Just on the basis of saying he would have started good. Oh, no one's completely sure, but this is the start. No.
But he wasn't. It's not about starting. He was done, man. Here's the thing. Did you see the Khan Vargas fight?
Yeah.
The fight before. Do you think Khan looked good in that fight?
Half decent, nothing, not special, no.
But so what I mean is Vargas and Crawford, the levels between, like the level. Even Ray's agreeing with me. He's saying Amir Khan was shot by then. He was. That wasn't a fight. Like Khan in it. So are you telling me right? That if the Khan that fought Maidana fought Terence Crawford, that fight would have played out like that?
Yeah, Crawford would have stopped him late.
No, but it's not about who. Like, hear what I'm saying. Would Khan have given Crawford more trouble, more problems? Not asking you who wins the fight. Yeah, okay, you think Crawford beats Amir Khan. What I'm saying is the fight wouldn't play out like that. It'd be a lot more competitive and a lot more dangerous.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Even Paulie Malignaggi, I heard Paulie Malignaggi say about that. He goes, Khan and Brook weren't in their primes. And he even said, he went even as far as saying, I don't even know if Crawford beats Amir Khan or Kell Brook in their primes. This is what Paulie said. This is what Paulie Malignaggi, and Paulie Malignaggi, as we all know, knows his boxing. So this is what I'm trying to say, that they were that past their prime when he fought them, that it's hard for me to compare. It's hard when you say that he started off slow, he started off fast against Amir Khan. Amir Khan wasn't that same Amir Khan. So it's like saying, a lion once upon a time was a lion, but now that lion is 70 years of age and he doesn't have the same kind of, it's not the same, man. It's not the same.
No,
It's the same.
You know what this is saying?
Yeah.
You know what this is saying? This is saying that right now, Terence Crawford needs to do some damage control. He needs to step up to the plate, because we're having these conversations about him and his credibility and his desire to win and be a killer. We having these conversations too much. and it's because whether somebody will agree or not, he's dug in some of these fights. He's doing some of this. He's brought a lot of this unwarranted attention to himself. So he needs to start, you know.
Breezos.
I mean, that's just
go on, Steven.
Go ahead.
Carry on, Steven.
No. Go ahead.
Breezos.
All right, Herman, I'm going to be stepping away soon, but I just want to leave you guys with one point, and I agree. Yeah. I agree as well with the point that was being made. A lot of this is being brought on to Crawford by himself. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the video where Bomac, his coach, he's like, "Oh, fuck that Pacquiao fight. Fuck that Pacquiao and Spence fight. I don't want nothing to," you know what I'm saying? Like, his team knows that. His team knows that Crawford, these conversations amongst the boxing community are being had because he's not facing these opposition. I mean, I bet all of us would be happy as boxing fans. We'd all be happy to see Crawford win these fights. We're not saying we want him to lose or that we're expecting him to lose, but we just want to see them happen. And I think that's kind of like, at the end of the day, that's what this conversation leads to. We just want to see the man in the ring with someone who has a chance.
Yeah, that's exactly that. You're spot on there. You're spot on there. But who's that guy, Breezos? Who's that guy?
Honestly, I think Sean Porter's that guy. Honestly, I really think Sean Porter is that guy.
You think
Sean Porter or Keith Thurman, because neither one of those guys are going to come at Crawford with the whole 60-40 thing. They know that Crawford has the belt, so they'd probably be willing to like take a pay, you know, not a pay decrease, right? But they'll be the B side in this case. I don't think Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, while they know their worth, I don't think they're I don't think they're over demanding.
But okay, I'll put you on the spot here, Breezos. Thurman v. Crawford. Who wins that fight?
I have to go with Crawford on that one.
Why do you say that?
I have to say that because I just feel like Keith Thurman, he's shown in the past that inactivity has caused him like harm. And I know he has the desire to come back after the Pacquiao fight. But I mean, Pacquiao's going to be fighting before he is. So, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like Thurman, he needs one good tune-up fight before a fight of that level, if that makes sense. I believe so.
Guys, I don't know if you've heard of this. What about Crawford v. Avanesian?
Hey, I'm gonna step out though, you guys. I'll be back. I'll be back on maybe later. I gotta head back to work, man.
All right, cool. Take care, Breezos.
All right, man. Thank you guys. It was nice chatting it up.
Yeah, man. Take it easy.
Steven, have you heard of Avanesian?
No, I haven't heard of him.
You've not heard of David Avanesian. So David Avanesian is he's a European champion. He's a good fighter as well. So people are asking, I don't think that's a good fight for Crawford as well. I think he destroys Avanesian. Avanesian got knocked out by Kavelasquez. So nah, that's not gonna. I just don't like that. I don't like that fight, to be honest. I think it needs to.
Can I say something though, real quick about Now you asked my man who he would favor out of Keith Thurman, Keith one-time Thurman, and Terence Bud Crawford.
Yes,
man. You know what? We keep doing the same thing to Keith Thurman that we've done to that we're doing to Sean Porter. We're not putting no respect on his name. Keith Thurman is a way better fighter than what we give him credit for. I don't know if Terence. I don't even know if Terence Crawford beats Keith Thurman. I don't know if he did. Keith Thurman could box.
Yeah, he can.
He could box. He got good footwork. He's highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. I don't know. The motherfucker could hit too. I don't know. I don't know who I pick in that fight.
Ahmed, steam's coming out your ears. I'm pretty sure you're not happy with Steven thinking that. What do you think, Thurman or Crawford?
No, Keith Thurman at his best would have given Crawford a good fight. He would have given him a good fight, but when you study him overall to the body, he was a little bit weak, and just generally adjustment-wise, Crawford's, he's got the gears, and he'd give him a good fight in his prime. Now he wouldn't, but in his prime, it would have been a good fight. But I would still favor Crawford clearly.
If Terence Crawford, if he keep on fighting these Zapetas and all these jokers, I ain't picking them to do nothing.
Yeah, Ahmed's a bit. Ahmed, you're the biggest Terence Crawford fan I've come across. Like, I like Terence Crawford as well, but you must be the biggest Terence Crawford fan. Like,
Yeah, tell me about it.
I just go by what he's achieved, what he's done, how he's beat fighters, whoever was the titleist put in front of him, beat him comfortably. You know, shown us gears levels, shown us power, shown us he's got power carrying, going up the weights. You know, 135 pounder beating on 147. I mean, which 135 pounder could jump up and beat Kell Brook and Amir Khan like that? Like, could he see somebody like Lomachenko
They were
do that?
has-beens though, man.
Could
They weren't the Americans and Kell Brooks of old, man. They were washed up. I fuck around and give them a run for their money. You know, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. I mean, you know boxing.
No, definitely. I mean, you say like Amir Khan's story. If I like Sean Porter would start fast against somebody like Crawford, but wouldn't Crawford know that? Crawford knows Sean Porter was going to come at him, and you'd see speed from Crawford from the go up.
Yeah, it's all good,
think
man.
about
I mean,
Steve. Go
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Steve,
Go ahead.
you know when we watched that fight between Crawford and Khan, right? Did you watch that fight in the corner, right? Where they went to Bomac. What did Bomac say? Amir is not as fast as he used to be.
Yep.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What's he basically saying?
Yeah, he said it means Amir's seen his best days.
That's what his own trainer's saying that. Firstly, I think, you know what? I think, firstly, you're in a fight, right? Why would you discredit your opponent like that? Firstly, because you're taking away from your credit, because we all know that what Amir's attribute was in his prime, it was his speed. You're basically saying he wasn't as fast as he was.
Yep.
So that was crazy, man. That's crazy. So I don't know. I just think even they knew that he was past it, and they knew Kell Brook was past it as well. So Kell Brook hadn't made welterweight Ahmed for 4 years or 3 years prior to that.
Yeah, he was just taking that. He was just taking that fight to get a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? I seen him. I seen him in his Bugatti or whatever he had. Kell Brook, he's flashy. He liked to live the life, and he just took that because he could make a cool little buck. He got a good name on him. It's Terence Crawford. Why not? I'll just take a knee before he break my other eye socket again. Easy. That was easy money. Easy money for Kell Brook.
Guys, just to switch topic a little bit, I want to say this. Eddie Reynoso said that Canelo is going to go after Beterbiev and Bivol after he beats Plant. What do you make of that, Ahmed, Stephen?
I think that's the right move to make. I think rather than stay at 168, going up to 175 would be the natural thing to do, and prove, add to his legacy. I mean, if he was to beat both Bivol and Beterbiev, that's how he should. I think he should retire after that, because that would really cement his legacy. Because I think he would struggle against Bivol. Bivol at 175, boxer puncher with the size on him as well. I think Bivol would be a favorite against Canelo. Beterbiev like a 50-50 fight. So, but them would be the two fights for Canelo to become undisputed at 175. And I think if you beat them two, then Canelo, I think, would be an all-time, top 5.
I think he's asking for too much going up to fight either Bivol or Beterbiev. I think Canelo needs to stay at 168 and clean up house. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that been calling me out say, look, I'm gonna see you. Y'all follow in line. I'm gonna see all y'all. He got too much business to tend to at 168, and that's a long shot. Him jumping up to fight Bivol. I mean, he's asking for a lot in that. So I think he needs to stay at 168, man. Right up.
Stephen, you know what the thing is? I'm Canelo saying he wants to fight at 160 and fight Charlo. He said Charlo's time's coming, but from his trainer, the trainer's saying he's moving up to 175. There's like conflicting reports. Like the trainer's saying that he's going to fight at 175, and Canelo saying he wants to fight Charlo. So I don't quite understand what's going off there.
I don't, you know, to be honest with you, I don't understand many of the moves they make in Canelo's camp. They do too much jumping up and down from weight class to weight class to weight class. You know, he's never won in one place long enough to see if he could really unify. He could really clean house. He just jumps up, you know, and I give it to him. He takes chances, but he takes safe chances. He takes chances that he knows he's gonna come out on top of, and that's, to me, that's the hallmark of somebody who is really, really intelligent and really, really savvy, business savvy. He's a better businessman than he is a boxer to me, because he's exquisite in picking his fights and doing it in a way to where he's not going to get much criticism, because these fights that he's taking, like Billy Joe Saunders, I mean, everybody knew that Billy Joe Saunders was going to beat him. I mean, wasn't going to beat him, but you still had that, what if he does, in the back of your head. It was kind of like to me, Canelo is the ultimate Jedi master. He's the ultimate Jedi master. He's able to play Jedi mind tricks on everybody. I love that about him.
So Louis, what do you make of what Steven's saying? Louis's gone. Christian's here. Christian is here. So Christian's in the house. Christian, my man, how are you? Christian?
I'm very well, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yeah, I can hear you. Loud and clear. So what do you make of what Steven was saying about Canelo? He's the ultimate Jedi master. He picks his fights.
You know, when you get to that point to where especially when you're a free agent, you know, it's smart from Canelo. I do feel like he's picked some of his fights, but I'm not saying that he's shied away from competition, because he's beaten all the champions, all the #1 guys out there. So, you know, just because he didn't fight your favor doesn't mean he's not fighting tough competition. So you got to give the credit where it's due, you know.
Steven, your response to that? Christian's made a good point there. He's cleaning up.
Well, Christian made the point I made before he made it. That's the same thing I was saying. I said that, you know, I'm basically saying that Canelo gives you no room to criticize him, because he beats everybody that he's fighting. But within that, itself was a lot of strategy and a lot of manipulation, a lot of maneuvering, and it's done in his camp. And that's why Canelo is great. He knows what he's doing. He's the ultimate Jedi master.
He's pretty much doing what Floyd Mayweather did when he became Money. You know, kind of similar.
Imran, haven't I said that before?
Yeah. To be fair, he has said that. Steven has said that. But guys, I don't understand. Like, okay, if he beats Plant, Steven, he just cleaned up at 168. He's just beating everybody at 168. He would have become an undisputed champion. So you know how you said he's not becoming unified and this, that? Wouldn't he have become unified at 168? Because he would have got all the belts.
Well, he's already unified.
Yeah.
No. What I mean is undisputed.
Oh. Yeah, he'd be undisputed.
But that's what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. So Steven, isn't he cleaning up at 168 though?
Yeah, but that hasn't happened yet.
No,
that hasn't happened yet though.
So you don't think he's gonna beat Plant?
I don't know if he's gonna get beat Clint. I think if you
Steven, we can't hear you.
Steven is.
No, you're all right. You're all right. You're all right. So David Fulton makes a good point. David Fulton makes a very good point. David Fulton says, I've been watching a lot of Plant recently, and he moves his head really good, but he forgets his body a lot. And we all know how dangerous Canelo is to the body. Christian, what's your point? What's your
Well, I mean, if you saw Plant's last fight, I forgot the guy's name was, but the ex-world champion he fought.
Caleb Trax.
Yeah, Truax. Yeah. Truax was touching him up a lot, man. And even though it was a great performance from Plant, he did get touched up a lot with the shots to Canelo, especially to the body, those hooks. You know, Plant is very skilled, man, but I'm just going by what I see and what he's faced. Of the opponents that Plant has faced, he doesn't have the experience, you know, to deal with someone like Canelo, and that's just my take on it. It doesn't mean that's what it is. I mean, the fight hasn't happened yet, so until it happens, we won't know. But I mean, that's my take on it.
Who wins that fight? Christian? How do you see that one playing out? How do you see it going?
Man, there's only one way Caleb Plant wins, man. That's just like really outboxing, kind of putting on like a Floyd Mayweather performance. But I don't see that, man. Canelo can win by outboxing it. It can win by knocking him out. You know, I think he's gonna knock him out, man. Late, like maybe round 10. If Plant, I feel like Canelo might knock him out with a headshot. He might go to the body, make him bring his arms down, and then, you know, by the late rounds, he's gonna have his arms down, and Canelo's just gonna get him with that either that straight or the hook.
Ahmed, do you agree with Christian there?
Yeah, I agree with him. I think Canelo will be too much for Plant. And I think once he beats Plant, I think fighting somebody like I don't think he should go back down to 160 or fight Triple G or Cholo. I personally think he's going to move up to 175.
What do you make of Errol Spence saying that he would want a fight with Canelo?
They
First of all, you know, his weight class is apart, and if hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just got a phone call there.
Yeah.
Hello?
So what are you saying?
Yeah, I just think that Canelo is. 1 second. Someone keeps calling me. I'll come
All
back.
right, Steve, I'll come to Stephen first then. Stephen, you there? Yeah. Stephen, you hear me, Stephen? Stephen's Christian. So Canelo, if he fights Beterbiev and Bivol, how do you see that one going?
I don't know, man. I give Bivol the shot of beating Canelo more than Beterbiev, even though Beterbiev has that power. I feel like his style suits Canelo better. But then again, you know, Canelo might walk Bivol down. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is those are gonna be good fights because you can't really call them, and those are the fights we want to see, you know.
Stephen,
Yes,
you're
sir.
hearing Christian. You're hearing Christian, right?
Man, I just came back on. Man. I've been having some issues with my connection today, man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right. But yeah, we hear you now. Canelo, and Canelo. Obviously, what were you talking about? You were talking about before you got cut off.
Oh, I was just saying that. Yeah, I mean, you asked me. You said, Steve, can he be unifying if he Caleb? I said, yeah. I mean, yeah. But that hasn't happened yet. Number one, that hasn't happened yet. But number two, I mean, let's not overlook. It's not a foregone conclusion that Canelo's going to beat Caleb. You know, here's the Caleb Plant's a dangerous man because he sure of himself. He knows what he can do. He knows what's going on. Caleb Plant ain't doubting himself. So, you know, anybody like that, I respect him. So I don't know, but if you put a truth serum in me, I would say, and I had to pick him, I'd pick Canelo to edge him out. I would.
Makai. So, what do you think, Canelo Plant? How do you see it? Makai, you there? No, Makai's not there. So, what I was gonna say though, Stephen, I know you have to bring a view to Ahmed, right? Because Ahmed was saying that Caleb's pricing himself out of the fight, and basically he feels that he feels that he's basically selling his belt. What do you make of that?
Nah, he ain't basically. I mean, Caleb Plant, he really thinks he can beat Canelo. You ever seen the way he conducts himself and the way he fights?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's not doing that, man. I promise you, he's not. He's doing anything but that. He really thinks he could beat Canelo.
Ahmed, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I just kept getting phone calls and it's a bit disturbing.
Yeah. So Steven's saying no, even though he's asking for that money, he's not doing that. He knows he can win that. He's just getting the best deal for himself.
I don't know, but just as from a fighter's perspective, I think Canelo will have that mental edge, you know, over him, you know, because when he's asking for too much money like that, Canelo's probably thinking, you know, he's a bit scared or something.
What do you, Steven? Bit scared. He's asking for ridiculous money.
Nah, he's asking for money to set himself up for life. He's asking for, you know, if they offer me, if they said, Steve, do you want to fight Canelo? I say, yeah, I will fight him. What's your number? I pick a good number to set me up for life too. You know, he's just doing what he feels is good economically for himself and his family. What's the harm?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Stephen. I don't think there's any correlation between what he's asking for money wise and his performance. Do you know what I mean? So, Christian, what do you make of Caleb asking for 10 million plus? Do you agree? Disagree?
I don't know, man. I'm not really good on money wise, so I just stay out of it. I mean, I just want to see the fight.
Yeah. But do you think but in terms of Ahmed saying that he feels that Canelo will have that mental edge, right? What do you think? What do you make of that in terms of when he's saying he have that mental edge because of the fact that he's asking for money where he, you know, doesn't really basically deserve?
I mean, yeah, that's my first thought. I'm thinking he's just trying to get that payday, set himself up because he might not be able to bounce back after that loss, which I'm not saying he's not. I just get that vibe from him, you know?
Do you guys, Stephen, are you there? Makai, are you there? Makai, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Yeah. We can hear you. We can hear you, Makai. What do you make of this Canelo Plant situation?
I think it's ridiculous the amount of money that Plant is asking for, and
Really?
I don't see. I'm not getting hopes of the fight happening next. I just
don't see it happening next.
I'm a bit in the middle. You
Right.
know, I mean, the amount of
This
money
damn
he's
thing,
asking for.
this thing ain't working today.
10 million. That's too much, I think.
Yeah, 10 million is too much. You think he's not gonna? The fight's just not gonna happen.
I just don't think he, like in interviews and everything, I just don't feel he's confident that he can beat Canelo.
Right. Okay. How do you see the fight playing out?
I see it playing out a bit like Canelo Saunders, but I feel Plant will give Canelo a bit more of a better fight.
Right.
I feel he's more faster.
I
feel he's got a bit more power, maybe. I don't really know, but Plant still hasn't got enough power, so it's a bit irrelevant, but yeah.
Canelo stoppage for you?
Yeah, I think he's. I think body shot. Plant's a bit open with his body.
Right. Okay.
I
So
think
you think
Saunders
Canelo's
is gonna give a better fight than Plant is. That's my opinion. I think just because Saunders had more experience fighting a little bit tougher competition, I feel like Plant's gonna be an easier fight, even though stylistically it might look a little tougher. I'm just going by what their work, what they've done. I think Billy Joe Saunders could have maybe is a tougher fight than Plant.
I mean, Saunders is probably better defensively, but I think everything else probably goes in Plant's favour.
Yeah, you think he's a better offensive fighter?
Yeah, he's definitely better offensively. I mean, he's definitely a lot more faster. He's got a really good jab. I'll give him that. But I still don't think it's enough. The only people I see giving Canelo a good fight is, of course, Bivol and Beterbiev.
Does he beat those two for you?
I think he beats Bivol, but I don't see him beating Beterbiev. I feel Beterbiev is a bit too strong for him.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of people say that.
Yeah, but I mean, I won't be shocked if Canelo wins. We've seen Beterbiev get dropped by no names.
Yeah. Callum Johnson, he got dropped by. Yeah, that was a.
You know, I rate Callum Johnson a bit. I mean, but there's other people that he's actually been dropped by, and I don't even remember their names. Like it's earlier in his career and everything, like just by nobodies.
Right. He's a big puncher, though, Callum.
Yeah, Callum is a big. Yeah, Callum is a big. He's a big banger.
Yeah, he's a big puncher.
Yeah. So, Stephen, are you back?
Man, I think I'm back, man. It's been a rough day for me, man.
Stephen, you're back. So, guys, Stephen, no one's giving Plant any chance. They're saying Plant's gonna get destroyed. You know what I mean? He's not in Canelo's class.
Well, he might get destroyed. But that's the point I'm trying to make is Caleb Plant legitimately thinks he's the best at 168. So he's not gonna hand over that belt without a knockdown, drag out fight with Canelo. He ain't just finna let Canelo come in and take that belt away from him. He gonna make him work for it. He gonna show him he gonna show Canelo that shit. He got the goods and he with the shit. That's what I'm saying. And I've seen Caleb Plant fight, and Caleb Plant can fight, man. So why are we so quick to just, you know, like we don't do that with anybody else? I guess Canelo has a track record, but we've made these points over and over again that Canelo is strategical in how he places his fights. You know, I think this is a true test for Canelo. Caleb Plant ain't no hoe.
Stephen, Mackay wants to respond to you. Mackay, go on.
You see, I've got to disagree. I don't think Plant's confident. He's turned down the fight twice before, and he's asking for a lot of money, and just through interviews and everything, I'm just not seeing it right at all. I don't feel he's confident at all. I'm not getting the energy from him at all.
There you get it, Stephen. People don't see that energy in Plant. They think he's cashing out. They think he's not. He doesn't feel he can win.
Yeah, Caleb Plant, he turned down the offers before because he didn't think the number was good enough. You know what I'm saying? He been calling Canelo out. He been calling him out before. If somebody comes at you, like say for instance, you had you know what I'm saying, you have a job and you know what you worth, and they say, well, even though you are worth such and such, we're gonna give you X amount of dollars. You like, fuck that. You ain't giving me nothing like that. You're gonna give me what I'm worth because I'm the champ at 168. I got the belt at 168. So give me what I want you to pay me what I'm worth.
Stephen, what you made a comment the other day, right? You made a comment the other day that if you're working, right, if you've got a job, right, and you're getting 30,000, you can't go to your employer and ask for 100,000, right? Remember you made that comment?
Yeah.
So don't you think Caleb Plant's doing that?
No, because Caleb Plant is he's the champ at 168.
Yeah, but
So he
the
ain't no
money that
nobody.
he's asking for, the money he's asking for, Stephen, like he's at nowhere near that. He's probably going to get 10 times what his highest payday is here if he gets what he wants.
Right, and isn't it what you're supposed to do? I mean, how much did they give Billy? You said it yourself. They gave Billy Joe $8 million.
Yeah,
Why they can't give Caleb Plant $10 million? And he's a champ.
Because they don't think Caleb Plant has got even as big a name as Saunders. That's why.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and Saunders was proven he was a champion in 2 divisions.
Steven?
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. You know, you're wearing me down with that. I mean, shit. I agree, man. I agree. Man,
no,
so
Steven, that's the whole point. Steven, that's the whole point. We want you to disagree. Like, if you want to, like, that's the whole point. If you disagree, I want you to say what you feel, man.
What I really feel is that I really feel like $10 million is chump change to Canelo. Canelo making money hand over fist. Get that dude $10 million and get this fight going. Is how I really feel. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with that. Give Caleb Plant $10 million because he's champ. Don't treat the champ like that. Given that analogy I made, that goes for somebody that isn't qualified. Somebody who's not worth the money. Caleb Plant is worth every bit of $10 million.
Hey Steven, so I assume that you also think the same with the Crawford Spence fight. Give Crawford his money and just make the fight.
No, I don't think that.
It's Crawford, the same logic, though.
No, it's the same. It's the same logic, but different circumstances. The circumstance with Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford has done nothing to try to elevate and boost his career. He's done nothing. He's fought
That's the
nobody.
Same as Plant, though.
Huh?
You said that's the same as Plant.
Plant is doing the same thing, though. He hasn't proved. If anything, Crawford's proven more than Plant by a mile.
Yeah, by a mile. Yeah, I'd agree.
Crawford's he's proved more by beating Benavidez. You know, I give him Kavaliauskas, but he ain't did too much more.
What? No, what? You're telling me, Stephen, you're telling me Crawford, by beating Gambo, Postal, becoming undisputed at 140, hasn't done more than Plant, who just holds the IBF belt at 168?
I'm talking about at 147.
Okay. But Stephen, when we're talking about negotiation, that all comes into it, what you've achieved as a boxer. So we have to take that in. It's not just what you've done at 147. It's like, for example, when Pacquiao comes to the table, you're not just going to look at, or obviously Pacquiao's a way bigger star than Crawford. What I'm trying to say is that your achievements count what you've done in the lower weight classes as well. You know, you're not just going to be dismissed like that if you're a champion from the lower weight classes, right? That doesn't mean that you're just going to be overlooked like that. Like Gervonta Davis, when he fought Leo Santa Cruz was a 3-4 weight world champion. Right, he's got to be respected. It doesn't matter though, he might not be a champion at the higher weight, but he's still got to be respected in negotiation. The same way with Crawford's got to be respected in a negotiation with Spence, right? Because of the fact what he's achieved in boxing. But what we're saying is Caleb Plant he's only held the IBF belt, who he won up Utsakatsi, and he hasn't really beaten any. Like we're saying, Caleb Crawford, some of his best wins are guys that past their best. This guy hasn't even got wins against guys past their best. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Imran. Check me out, dude. Check me out. Caleb Plant isn't asking for 50-50. He's simply asking for $10 million. That's entirely different from Terence Crawford asking for 50-50 of the fight. That's what Terence is asking for. He's asking for half. You know what I'm saying? 50-50. He's asking for 50-50 of it.
Hey, Steven, but that 50-50 would almost be the equivalent of Caleb Plant asking for the $10 million. Probably even worse.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because he's gonna take home $20 million.
Yeah, Canelo
He's
probably
making
makes 30 million.
double what he would make.
But
Give the
here's the
man
thing.
$10 million. And let's see.
Stephen Ray makes a point. Ray makes a point that Caleb Plant's highest payday was $750,000. He's asking for 10 million now. Ray's just put that on the chat.
Okay, so you don't think he's worth more than you don't think he's entitled to making more than that? Let's just cast out that $10 million. That $10 million might be a little bit much.
Yeah.
Now that's a good number to start with. That's the smart thing to do. If they bargain him down, Caleb Plant should take whatever they offer him.
Stephen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that what you're saying isn't wrong. That's why I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he should be asked. I think he should have 15 million. Like, because at the end of the day, right, he may not be the same fighter after he fights Canelo Alvarez. Let's put that out there. Look what happened to Billy Joe, right? Look what happened to Billy Joe. He got his face broken. How Stephen, do you think Billy Joe's going to be the same person, same fighter walking? No. So what I'm saying is then Caleb's got to do this. Like, obviously Caleb saw that, right? So so I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But what I'm saying is that is it going to stop the fight from happening, or do you think the fight still happens even if, for example, Caleb Plant gets stuck on that figure of 10 million?
No, I don't think it's going to stop the fight from happening, because I think Caleb Plant is sensible enough to know that if they don't want to give him $10 million, they may give him $5 million. They may even give him $6 million. But it's more than what he's been making. Yeah. So he'd be a fool. Like, now, if he don't take the whatever they counter offer him, he a sucker for that. Don't be a sucker. Take the fight. You've been talking all this shit about you want Canelo, this, that, and the third. Let's see what's cracking. Let's lace him up and let's get it on. Otherwise, you just play the role of a sucker. And I hope the guy that Caleb Plant ain't a sucker. I think that he will make that fight. What do you think?
What? So Christian, what do you think? Do you agree with Stephen there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Sorry for the background noise. I'm at work again. But,
no, it's all right. It's not. There's no noise.
All right, awesome. I agree with him to an extent. I believe that 10 million is way too much. Now that he put it into perspective, I forgot what his name was. $750,000 or $700,000. That was the biggest payday.
Yes, Ray said.
So asking 10 million, that's more than 10 times the amount. So even saying that, even throwing out 10 million, I think that's just crazy. No, I think he should. I don't think it's gonna be for that much. If he gets like 5 million, that's more realistic.
But do you think that's gonna stop the fight? Do you think if Caleb Plant gets stuck on 10 million, do you think the fight won't happen? Do you think Canelo will say, you know what, I ain't fighting this guy because this guy's he's pricing himself out of the fight?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I can see Canelo being like, you know what, fine, I'll go unify 175, because Eddie, I think yesterday or the day before, recently said that they were gonna try to start campaigning after the Plant fight if it gets made at 175 and unifying there. So if that fight doesn't get made, I do see Canelo going to 175 and trying to unify there. And I think the Canelo team is gonna try to make the fight as much as possible, because he wants to make history. He wants to be the first undisputed at 168. So I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen.
Makai, what's your take on all of this?
I feel Plant is a very lucky guy because he's got the leverage. He's got the last piece of what Canelo wants. So he can ask for whatever he wants. Canelo doesn't have to, but then he kind of does, because if he don't, then he's not going to be undisputed. And Canelo's mentioned multiple times that he wants to be undisputed. He really wants it. So Plant is a very lucky guy if he does get 10 million, especially when his biggest payday wasn't it 750,000?
Yeah.
So he's going to be very lucky if he gets 10 million.
I don't know for 100% because Al Heyman, they do that's probably 750,000 guaranteed, but Al Heyman might have given him more on top. You see, because the purses that we see are not always the full amount of money that they get, so it could be topped up to like 1 or 2 million. Do you know what I mean? But even then, 10 million is significantly more than what he's made. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I honestly, I think Canelo's just going to do it. I don't think Canelo really cares. He'll give Plant 10 million. He won't mind. I think he'll happily do that.
Ahmed,
let me ask y'all something real quick.
Yeah, go on.
Let me ask y'all something. What do y'all really think about this turmoil, this dissension, and this animosity going on between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo?
Yes, make a good point there. You make a great point there. That was great. That was Oh my God. I made a video about that today, Stephen. Did you see it?
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, basically, Oscar's a legend. He's a legend, no doubt about it. One of the greats, right? But that to me, what he said about Canelo, about him just having power, that's absurd, man. That's absurd because everybody knows that Canelo Alvarez is probably, in my opinion, the best fighter in the world today. So for Oscar to say he's just got power, I just think things have got really bitter between the two. I think Oscar's making himself look a little bit bad. You know, he's making himself look a little bit bad because, you know, I don't see where he's coming from with all of the stuff that he's saying. He's saying a lot of things that, as a promoter, he never said that about Canelo when he was promoting him. But now all of a sudden, he's saying that he just has power. He's not that great. He's saying he made more money under him than he is with Hearn. I don't know, man. It's just bizarre to me. It's really bizarre. What do you think, Mackay, Christian? What are your take on it?
I just feel De La Hoya is a bit better because Canelo left him. Ever since Canelo left him, he's just said all sorts of stuff, especially him saying he ducked one of the Charlo brothers, which is not true. He's definitely not ducking any of them. That's for sure. He's just making it worse for himself. Because people can see right through it.
I agree with Mackay.
Why? What do you think, Christian?
Yeah, like Mackay said, I think he's bitter. I think Oscar is great in the ring, but outside the ring, not so much. And he lost a lot of revenue when he lost Canelo, and I think that's really bothering him. And after the interview Canelo had, and I forgot what the TV show was or that host was, but he pretty much kind of called Oscar out, saying that he was not really there. The Golden Boy team was, but Oscar himself wasn't, and he was just getting drunk, not being professional. So I think Oscar's bitter about that, and he's just trying to get back at Canelo, But I don't think Oscar believes that. I think he's just saying that because, in all honesty, I think Oscar knows that Canelo is the best right now.
So David Fulton makes a good point here. David Fulton says, I feel Oscar bit also the other retired legends that feel they want to come back. My reason is it must be hard as a champion like Oscar to then retire and most likely reminiscing of how he was once there. So basically saying that, it's hard for Oscar because I think it's not even so much the fighting thing with Oscar. I just think it's the fact that he had the biggest star in the sport and all of a sudden that biggest star is not with him anymore. What would you say, Stephen?
Yeah, I think it's that, man. I think it's exactly that, man. And your heart has to go out to Oscar because, Oscar's from the old school, man. Oscar, he don't know nothing about, he thinks a fighter should fight whoever, whatever. Let's just get the money. Let's do this, that, and the third. But I think it was. I think overall, I think Oscar's just bitter, man. He's just bitter. I mean, his cash cow left. His cash cow left, and got his own independence, his own everything. And I think it's I think Oscar can't live with it. He's just like a spurned girlfriend, like a woman scorned, damn near.
Stephen, Ray makes a brilliant point. Ray says, all these people saying that Canelo's ducking Charlo. He goes, how can you fight Golovkin but duck Charlo?
Easy. He fought Golovkin early on, and truth be told, he lost he lost shit. If you ask me, both of those fights, they robbed Gennady. And he was lucky in doing that. And after that, that's when he became the money man. After he beat Golovkin, it was really when he took off. So and to fight somebody like Jamal is dangerous for him, or he was dangerous. I mean, everybody's kind of turned their back on him due to his last performance. But before then, everybody was saying that Jamal was dangerous for him. Canelo hears that. Canelo ain't stupid. We just got through talking about how intelligent he was. He a long way from being stupid. He's not an idiot. So he's gonna take the fights that suit him, that are best for him in his career. Go ahead.
I mean, but Canelo did fight Triple G when Triple G was the boogeyman.
Yes.
He took a chance and did that. That's why I said he took a chance and did that. He took a chance and he won. He was granted that he won. That was hella impressive. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No. But you just said no. So what are you saying here, Stephen? You said that Golovkin won, or what are we saying?
No, I'm saying Canelo won. I'm saying Canelo won in terms of becoming a money man. He took a gamble and fought Golovkin when Golovkin was dangerous. Do you remember what was going on with Golovkin at the time? Golovkin was mowing motherfuckers down left and right. I mean, cleaning clocks. And Canelo took a chance and fought him and won in terms of that he won literally and figuratively. He won in terms of he beat him. They say I don't give him the fight, but he was awarded that decision. The first one was a draw, they said, but the second one we know how it folded, and then ever since then, complete tear.
Do you think? You
get what I'm saying?
So Ray's saying here. So Surgeon's saying Oscar said Jamal was ducked by Canelo.
Yeah, I mean, if Oscar's saying it, that's coming from Oscar. Well, just let me say this, because I think I know what you're gonna say, but let me say this real quick. I think Oscar is right now. He's like a drunk. Oscar's like a drunk. When you get inebriated, you start telling people how you really, really feel, what you really saw on them. And Oscar really, really felt like this dude was ducking. This dude was ducking people. I'm gonna tell the world how big of a bitch you are to me. That's how I know it sounds crazy, but that's how Oscar's feeling right now. He feels firm. But go ahead.
Let me give you an example. Well, what the other guy said, Canelo fought Triple G, instead of Charlo. I mean, Charlo could have fought Triple G, but no one wanted to fight Triple G at the time. Canelo took that chance, dared to be great. Also, I'll give you an example. When Roberto Duran was going to fight Tommy Hearns, his mandatory was Mike McCollum, the body snatcher. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, Mike McCollum.
Yeah. That was his mandatory. He was supposed to fight McCollum. But Duran decided to go for Tommy, and we all know how that went. So who's the greater fighter, Tommy or Mike? People are saying he ducked McCollum. I mean, not really, because he went for the tougher fighter. He went for the guy who was a greater fighter, who was a better fighter. So he took that chance. He lost, but in Canelo's case, Canelo won. So you know, you gotta call it how it is. You know, Oscar can say, you know, he ducked this guy. He's just bitter, man, because we know that they sent a contract to Charlo. Jermel even called out his brother on it. So, you know, it is what it is.
So,
You
do you
can't
think
just have.
Canelo won that? Go on. Who's that?
It's me.
Yeah, Ahmed. Yeah, go on, Ahmed.
Yeah, you know, carry on. I'll answer after.
No, answer. I want you to answer.
No, with Oscar saying that Canelo's only got punching power, you can't move up weight classes and dominate by just having one asset. You can stay at the same weight class and do something, but when you move up, you can't just punch. You've got to be able to avoid. You've got to have skills, and obviously that's completely wrong. You know what Oscar's saying. It is, you know, he's showing, you know, he's bitter about Canelo leaving him really. Because having just one asset, you can't. It's like, for example, Amir Khan was good at 140 with just speed, but when he moved up to 147, you know, you have to, you know, you get tested, your punch resistance, you know, your skill level. You can't have a punching power and dominate a weight class above, because they're going to be strong, they're going to be punching us harder, and you know, you've got to be able to have skills and, you know, movement, which Canelo, you know, has got.
Right. Makai, what do you make of all of this? What do you make of did Canelo duck Charlo, in your opinion?
Absolutely not. Why would he duck Charlo? What does Charlo bring that would fear Canelo?
I agree.
And it's pretty stupid of De La Hoya saying it, because I don't think you've heard, or it was quite a while ago, that De La Hoya said that Charlo turned down the Canelo fight.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What did you hear? What Stephen was saying? Now that he's left him, is Oscar De La Hoya now actually telling us the truth of what actually happened, or is he lying about it? Because obviously one of them's the truth, right? He either ducked Charlo or Charlo didn't take the fight.
When De La Hoya said that Canelo ducked Charlo, he was talking about Jamel, because he tagged Jamel Charlo in it, the 154 pounder.
Right. Okay.
And then Jamel spoke about it on his Twitter, saying that he was promised to get the Canelo fight after he beat Rosado. He beat Rosado and then he didn't get it, and he said that he left Golden Boy because of that. So we don't know. Canelo could have actually ducked Jamel back then, ages ago. We don't actually know. But then again, I just feel De La Hoya is being bitter because, see, De La Hoya, he has a phone. He knows what's going on. He knows what people say about Canelo. He knows that there's a whole big storyline between Canelo and the Charlo brothers. So I feel he's just trying to stir some shit.
Makai, I'm going to put this question to you. Sid UK says, what about Andrade? Canelo has dodged him too.
How Canelo's talking now at the press conference, you can see he's not interested in fighting him, because he said he's a horrible fighter. He said he's never going to get the fight. But at middleweight, when Andrade had a belt, people get confused, because Canelo said he wanted to be undisputed at middleweight, and obviously he didn't fight Andrade, who had the last belt. The reason is because of, you know, when Canelo lost his IBF belt.
Yeah.
That wasn't Canelo's fault. De La Hoya, he told the IBF that they would arrange a deal like in 10 days, and Canelo didn't know about that. So they were in negotiations for days, and obviously it went past 10 days, and then the IBF, and then he got stripped off the IBF. That's why Canelo fell out with De La Hoya even more. So then he went in negotiations with Kovalev and Andrade, but he chose Kovalev instead, which makes more sense.
I would like to comment on that.
Yeah.
Go on, Christian.
When it comes to Andrade, people forget that Canelo was already stripped I think it was the IBF title when Andre started calling him out. You know, people saying, "Oh, he had 3 belts. He could have fought Andre."
Yeah.
Not really, because Canelo was stripped before then. He only had 2 belts, you know, so he was
But,
not going to be undisputed.
People seem to forget about all that, like with the IBF situation. They just think, oh, Canelo said he wanted to be undisputed, but he fought Kovalev and said so. He must have been ducking him. But I remember this stuff, and it just makes so much sense. Let's say you was in Canelo's situation. Would you fight Andrade, and after you beat him, you're still not undisputed because you have to get the IBF belt again, or would you go up and fight Kovalev and be the first Mexican 4 division champ? And Kovalev is a bigger name as well, better legacy fight.
Yeah.
What would you choose if you was in Canelo's hands? I would definitely choose Kovalev.
Yeah.
Kovalev is the bigger fight, the legacy fight, and the money fight.
And you need to say this: who would win, Kovalev or Andrade? That Kovalev and that Andrade, who would win? I think Kovalev would win. So it's a tougher fight.
But what people will say to that, Makai, is that Kovalev was washed up and Kovalev was finished. So Canelo Kovalev, he would have never fought a prime Kovalev, because a prime Kovalev would have beat him. So he picked on a Kovalev that was washed. So what would you?
No, man. That Kovalev wasn't washed, man. That Kovalev was not the stone cold killer that he was when he fought Ward, but he was still a very good version of Kovalev. It wasn't like Tank Davis fighting Warriors. It was this guy was a legit champion, top 3 in the weight.
Christian, you know the Kovalev, the fight before. Do you know who he fought?
I think he fought Yard.
Yeah, Yard.
He knocked him out with a jab.
Yeah. But did you see Canelo? I mean, Kovalev almost got knocked out in that fight. He got rocked, and he almost got knocked out badly against the guy who then came back to the UK and lost to Lyndon Arthur, right? Who is a British level light heavyweight. He lost. So what I'm trying to say to you is that I agree with you. Kovalev was still good because Kovalev actually did well in that fight. I actually had him ahead up until the stoppage. But the fact is that wasn't the prime version of Kovalev. It wasn't. Listen, the prime version of Kovalev, Canelo don't beat that Kovalev.
For sure.
You don't beat that. So
I agree with you. It's not a prime Kovalev, but it's very.
Oh yes, I agree. It's still dangerous.
What Canelo?
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's still a dangerous fight because Kovalev was so much bigger. But it wasn't the Kovalev that we all knew.
No, 2 weight classes.
Yeah. I agree with that. It was a good. It was a.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Hey, salute you guys.
Jesus.
Yeah, man, how you doing? I'm Rin.
I'm good, man. How are you? I was gonna come to you, man. Sorry, I completely got tired. How are you, man?
No, doing good, man. Hey, doing good. Just wanted to bring in my opinion regarding the Kovalev. I hear you guys are talking about Kovalev.
Yeah.
I just want to hear you guys' opinion. Do y'all think a prime Kovalev is a better fighter than Berto Diaz and Bivol?
Yeah, man. That guy was a monster. That Kovalev was a monster. I think he beats him both.
Kovalev is like a top 10 light.
Okay.
Just put it this way, right? Look how good Canelo is.
Not of all time.
Okay.
I think a prime Kovalev would destroy Canelo. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. Kovalev was gun shy when he fought Canelo. He wasn't throwing his. Kovalev had serious power.
Yeah, I think Kovalev would have knocked Canelo out.
Yeah. That would have been a.
I don't think it will knock him out. I mean, we're not too sure because we have to understand that it was Canelo's first fight. on light heavyweight. That was like a first, like every fighter when they getting up when they're going up into a weight class, they take a tune-up fight, and Kovalev
Yeah,
fight. I mean
even
that was
Ward took a whole load of tune-up fights.
Yeah, but I mean I would not necessarily say that a prime Kovalev will destroy Canelo. I mean look at Canelo's chin, man. That guy stood up like a freaking shark. He's like
I
5'8",
agree.
man. You can. I mean, it's hard to wobble Canelo or to knock him out. That guy is strong, man. Like I heard I'm reading one of his videos. I saw one of the run videos that he said that Canelo's body is thick, and I agree with him. Man, Canelo's body is freaking thick, man. Man, that guy's strong. Like I just find it hard to someone knocking out Canelo.
Just I'm the biggest Canelo fan, right? I'm a big Canelo fan. I respect his career and everything. I'm probably one of the guys that people criticize because they say, "Oh, you give Canelo too much credit." But prime Kovalev, just beat Andre Ward. He beat him the first fight. I don't care what anyone says. He beat him. He beat him.
I agree with that.
He beat Kovalev is 6'1", right? He punches very hard, right? And he would have walked through. Like for me, would have walked through. Like I just don't see because when he fought Canelo, Kovalev wasn't letting his hands go. He wasn't throwing his punches. Canelo is very strong, very tough, and when I say destroy, I not necessarily mean knock him out. I mean batter him. Do you understand where I'm saying? So Canelo might have stayed there till 4 rounds, taking a beating. But what I mean by destroy, I mean he would have like Andre Ward. Most people, you ask most boxing fans, right? They would say Andre Ward beats Canelo, right? He beat Andre Ward. You think Canelo will beat Andre Ward?
Canelo will beat Andre Ward, man.
Really?
Canelo will beat. Yeah, Canelo will at 168. Canelo will beat Andre Ward at 168.
No
Guys,
chance.
do you agree, Christian? Ahmed?
No chance. Too elusive, too much IQ, and too powerful. To be honest with you, his power is underrated as well. At his best.
Can you hear me?
No,
Yeah,
I think that I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I can hear you.
Third, I beat Canelo points. I don't think Canelo takes a beating. I think it's a competitive fight, but I think Ward, because boxing today, you win. It doesn't matter how offensive you are. If you're better defensively, you're going to win. It's just the name of the game in today's judging systems. So
I can literally like.
I think Ward will come out
If I can bet
worse for
$1,000,
wear,
I will bet
he'll win
$1,000 that Canelo will beat Andre Ward.
I don't know, man.
Steven, you there, my man?
I think Andre Ward would win, but he would come out more beat up than Canelo.
Makai, what do you think?
So. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Makai, do you agree with Jesuis that Canelo would beat Andre Ward in his prime at 168?
No, it will be a close fight, but Ward would probably nick it. I feel he would land the cleaner punches, I feel he would outsmart him.
Jesuis, how do you think Canelo? No one seems to agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think nobody agrees with me. I think Andre Ward's power. He had good power, but not like a Triple G kind of power or Kovalev. So I think what Canelo would do, he would just be like you said, he's a smart bull. He would just go in there, kind of like do like a Mike Tyson style on him, and make him miss, and just break him down. Start to break him down because Andre Ward didn't when he fought Kovalev in the first fight. Andre Ward didn't look as good. He was going backwards all the time, and then Kovalev was just backing him down. So that's why I think Canelo beat out Where I think he was just
The thing is though
do
with
like an aggressive, smart way. You know.
Makai, what are you gonna say?
Obviously we're doing prime for prime. I feel Canelo, he's still getting better. I still think Canelo's improving.
Right.
I don't think he's like he's in his prime, but he's still improving. He's still getting a lot more better. But either way, I still feel Ward would beat him because Ward he's good on his feet. He's smart, and he's got a bit of power as well to keep Canelo like away from him a little, not like be scared of it. But obviously, Canelo not just going to try and bully him because I feel Ward's got good enough power to make Canelo, timid.
Yeah, you make a good point.
There's no way Canelo could have beaten the Super 6 Andre Ward. That
Ward
was his plan.
Ward, that just shows you how good Kovalev was. Because obviously, as Imran said, Kovalev definitely won the first fight. Kovalev was outclassing him. With his just by using his distance, he literally every time he threw a combo, he always hit Ward. Like he was just so good in that fight, but he just didn't get the decision, which is weird.
And even in the second fight, he was ahead in that fight.
Yeah,
he was ahead
in the second fight. Ward was a lot bigger. Didn't you realize that? He was a lot bigger, weren't he?
I didn't really notice that. No, I didn't notice that.
Ward, he was a lot bigger in the rematch. Like, see, Kovalev was still a bit bigger, but I mean, Ward looked like he gained a bit of muscle and everything. He looked like he was a light heavyweight.
I didn't really.
So that it played a factor for Ward there because obviously he put some weight on, and obviously Ward done better in the rematch. But in the first fight, I feel Kovalev just outclassed him. I mean, Ward was struggling with Kovalev's jab. Like that was a really good jab, solid jab.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Nobody battered Bernard Hopkins, in his life, and look what Kovalev did. That was Kovalev's prime, and if you had put Canelo in at that time, Canelo would have got battered.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously, prime Kovalev, that was like 2016. Obviously, I was saying Canelo when in 2016 he was fighting Amir Khan. He had no business at that time, obviously with Kovalev. So yeah,
any version of Canelo. Any version of Canelo, prime version.
Who is that? Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so when Canelo, let's say Canelo right now after let's say 5 years passed, right? Let's say 6 years, and he retires. Maybe you guys change your way of thinking. Maybe I guys can think maybe Canelo will beat Andre Ward and once to see it after he retires. You say he's improving, right? Maybe you guys will change your opinion. Maybe later on, can y'all say that or no?
Possibly, if he beats Pacquiao and Bivol.
I mean, if he beats Pacquiao and Bivol, I mean, quite hard to say Ward beats him.
I mean, Canelo is greater, in my opinion. He's not better, but greater.
Oh yeah, he's greater.
He's a lot more successful.
He's
way
greater.
More successful.
He's greater, but that doesn't mean he would beat him.
It sounds like a Pacquiao Mayweather similarity. That Pacquiao is greater than Mayweather, but Pacquiao Mayweather won.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, I think Canelo Ward is a bigger difference than Mayweather Pacquiao because there's many people that think Mayweather is greater than Pacquiao. So with Canelo and Ward, I don't really think there's any comparison in terms of what Canelo achieved and what Ward achieved. Even though Ward achieved a lot, I still think you have to say that Canelo's 4-division world champion. He's going to become undisputed at 168. So you have to give him credit for that. You have to give
Imran.
him. Yeah.
Imran, why did you think that? What did you think Ward retired prematurely?
Because I think Ward didn't have any competition. That's why. He had no
What do you
competition.
guys think about Charlo and Canelo? What do you guys think about that fight? Because I think Charlo's not even in Canelo's level, man. I saw the Montiel fight. Well, I didn't saw the fight. I mean, I watched the highlights, but what I've heard and then the highlights, it seemed like the Montiel was being competitive against Charlo. So, what do you guys think about that Charlo and Canelo fight? Do y'all think it's a good fight? It's a 50-50 fight, or do y'all favor Canelo?
Didn't Charlo say that he was going to stay at 160 rather than go up to 168?
Yeah, he did.
Charlo says a lot of things.
Charlo won't beat, for me. Charlo doesn't beat Canelo, but I think Charlo's got a good style matchup with Canelo. I think it's a good fight. I'd like to see it. But I don't know. I don't know whether he's going to fight Golovkin. I don't know whether he's going to fight Andrade. I don't know whether he's going to go up to 175 and fight Bivol or Beterbiev. There's a lot of things that Canelo has a lot of options, right? He's the biggest star in the sport. He can do what he wants.
Speaking of Charlo,
the
other Charlo, I want to see that Charlo Harrison trilogy. That pair, they have to go at it again because their pre-fight pageantry is so exciting. I don't know if you guys saw the face-to-face. Oh my God, that was so good.
Harrison, he's made Charlo so emotional sometimes, man. It was so fun.
Hey guys, so let's change topic a bit. I mean, let's go down to the lower weight classes. We usually talk about the heavier weight classes. What do you guys think about the Estrada versus Chocolatito? Do y'all think Chocolatito won that fight?
Yeah, most people thought Chocolatito won that fight, right? It was close.
I saw the fight, and I think Chocolatito won the fight, man. And I'm a huge Estrada fan. I mean, I'm Mexican, but I was raised in the U.S. But I was going for Estrada, but Chocolatito, man. For me, Chocolatito won clearly, man.
Yeah, man. Chocolatito he's a monster, man. Both of them are monsters. Estrada's on the pound for pound list as well, top 10.
Yeah, he was number one after Mayweather retired.
Yeah, he's not number one, but he's up there.
No, Chocolatito was number one.
But after Mayweather
retired.
Oh, after. Yeah, but now he's still in the top 10.
After Mayweather retired. Yeah. Oh, really?
No, after Mayweather retired, it was Ward. Ward was number one.
I thought it was Chocolatito.
No, it was Chocolatito the year after.
It was Andre Ward.
It was Andre Ward after Mayweather. Ward was the number one.
I think it was.
I guess it depends on who. On the Ring Magazine, I'm pretty sure it was Chocolatito, man.
Yeah.
Oh, after Ward beat Kovalev, I think he was number one.
Yeah.
I think he was number one. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Mayweather retired in 2015, man. Yeah, Chocolatito. Yeah, Chocolatito was up there. I remember because Mayweather got asked who's pound for pound number one, and he said Chocolatito. But then Chocolatito lost to Rungvisai. Can you remember? He lost to Rungvisai.
Yeah, I remember.
And then
he knocked him out.
Hey? Yeah, Rungvisai knocked him out, and then Andre Ward became number one pound for pound.
Imran, what happened to SRR? Like, he disappeared there. Like, what happened to him?
Who?
Rungvisai.
Yeah, he's still fighting. Rungvisai still here. He's still fighting. But I think he took some. Let's just check his.
No, he's still around. He's actually gonna fight Estrada, because that's mandatory. But Estrada, I guess, got the franchise, and now he's gonna fight Chocolatito for a third time.
He's gonna fight Chocolatito. Yeah, they were talking about it, weren't they?
So
I don't think that's a good
matchup was the mandatory.
Christian, that's not a good matchup for him, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Rungvisai got Chocolatito's number.
That's what I mean.
But it's still a good fight.
It's kind of weird.
You never know, man.
Say that again.
It's kind of strange that Estrada beat Ringside like clearly, but Ringside beat Chocolatito clearly. I mean, he knocked him out, and then Chocolatito and Estrada, Chocolatito beat Estrada. You know, it's just very strange how all these matchups.
Yeah, it's like the four kings, bro. But that's the weight division. That's the weight division. Yeah. Everyone's talking about the lightweight division, the new four kings. No, man, it's the lightweight. What is it? They're on the bantamweight, or I forget which 116 or 118.
Yeah, it's bantamweight. Super Rungvisai, right? Rungvisai was super flyweight. He was super flyweight. Then did he go up to I swear he went up to bantam, didn't he? Super flyweight.
No, I think they're still in super fly. Yeah. That's the division that's I think the most competitive for me, because they're all up. They're all fighting each other. It's Rungvisai, Chocolatito, Quadra, Estrada. I mean, and they're all fighting each other, man. They're not ducking each other. They're all fighting, and they all have more than one fight with each other.
Guys, I want to ask you all a question. Who does Chris Eubank fight next?
I heard he was planning to fight Andrade.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but that doesn't look like it, because it looks like Andrade might fight Golovkin.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw apparently that Golovkin's he's got a bit of a disagreement with them.
Yeah.
I don't feel Golovkin's gonna turn that down, or he basically has no choice. So I feel he will take that fight. I hope, just so Golovkin. It's just so he can shut Andrade up.
Do you think that? Do you think that his coach Roy Jones Jr. Do you think that's good for him though?
What, the Roy Jones?
Yeah, his coach, his new coach.
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. What, Chris Eubanks? Yeah, I think it is. If you listen, Chris Eubanks had an issue with listening to people. If you're not going to listen to Roy Jones, then you might as well go home and pack up. I think it's a great matchup, because I think Eubank needs somebody that he respects.
But Imran, sometimes when you see Chris Eubanks now, he tries to imitate Roy Jones a little bit.
Yeah,
dude, you're not Roy Jones.
No one can be like Roy Jones. So it would be stupid to try be like Roy Jones. But I get what you're saying. But you shouldn't be like Roy. You shouldn't be like Roy Jones. No, that would be silly of him, to be honest. But
with Chris Eubank Jr., because he had so much respect for what his dad achieved, he didn't have the respect for the trainer, and he wanted somebody better than his dad to be his coach. I get that type of mentality from him.
I'm gonna get Stephen. Stephen, you there, my man?
Man, I think I'm here, man. I've been going through it, man. I think I'm here.
All right, okay, so I'm hearing you twice, Stephen.
Okay, hold on. Me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Hear me? I have connection issues, man.
Yeah, I hear you guys, man. I hear you guys. Stephen, Chris Eubank, who does he fight?
Who does he fight next?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see. Who does Chris Eubanks fight next? I'm gonna say somebody like Andrade. Demetrius or
Yeah. How does that play out? Who wins that fight?
Oh shit, man, that's a tough one right there, man. That's a real tough one, man. I may have to take. Woo, that's tough. I may have to take Chris Eubank.
Really?
Yeah, man. Chris Eubank's a real deal to me, man.
Wow. You know what?
I like Chris Eubanks a whole lot.
You know what? You know Ray, right? If he was here, I think he's gone now. He would be disagreeing with you. He doesn't think Eubank will ever be a world champion.
Why? What is he basing that off of? He got all the goods, man.
He goes, Eubank loses every time he steps up. He hasn't got a great jab. He's technically not efficient. He's not got great footwork. He doesn't rate Eubank.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Eubanks, he got pretty good footwork. Now he may be right about everything else. He's a little wild, a little rambunctious, But I see a lot of problems in him. I guess that's what I'm going off of.
In the UK, Stephen, he's not very highly rated at all.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's
too bad for y'all.
He's
I rate him high.
Basically, people say that he's living off his father's name. Even though I think that's harsh, I think he's a good fighter. Stephen, I think Eubank's decent fighter, but like I said, he's not very highly rated, and people don't think he's going to become a world champion.
See, that's one of the curses of being a junior or being a son of a, look at Marvis Frazier. You know how he got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson kind of fucked him up. He kind of fucked him up in the game. And look at the only case where that's proven to be a great thing was Floyd Mayweather Jr. Yeah. But everybody else, that's kind of a curse, man. I really hate that because Chris Eubank
But Stephen, Floyd Mayweather Sr. wasn't a great fighter. He was okay, but he wasn't a great fighter. I think the better example is the Spinks one, where his son didn't he became the lineal champ at 147? But
he beat Zav Judah. Yeah, he beat Zav Judah, didn't he?
Yeah. And Steve, did you watch the entrance on the second fight when Nelly came out with him?
Yeah, man, you taking me back, man.
Yeah, that was at St. Louis, man. Oh my God, that was a great entrance.
It's incredible, man.
A question for you guys. You're talking about Marvis Frazier Jr. I mean, obviously for a prime Mike Tyson. Do you think Joe Frazier would have stood a chance against that Tyson?
Hey man, listen, there isn't a man walking this face of the earth that would have stood a chance with that Mike Tyson. That Mike Tyson was he was a fucking train wreck, man.
Steven, many would say that Mike Tyson's not a top 5 heavyweight of all time. To that, you say what?
To that, I say that Mike Tyson that fought Marvis Frazier, that dude was hell on earth.
Yeah, but not even top 10. Yeah, but Stephen, when Mike Tyson fought the best of the best, he lost them all. Whereas with Frazier, at least he beat Ali.
Well, notice this, little Penny. Notice when it happened. It happened after Mike Tyson got caught on a race when he met his match. At first, he got whooped by Robin Gibbons. That was his first loss. After Robin Gibbons, he was never the same. Is that fair, little Penny?
Yeah.
Would you agree with me? Agree with you.
Yeah. So I'm not sure that Mike Tyson with the thick ass neck, and with the gold teeth, with them shorts on with no socks, that fucking Mike Tyson was incredible.
Yeah, Stephen, I think when Robin Givens started calling Mike Tyson Michael Tyson, I think, man, this guy's domesticated. This guy's over.
Yeah.
Guys, if Mike Tyson had fought Muhammad Ali, prime for prime, who wins that?
Ali.
Stephen?
I say Ali too. Man, listen. And I hate to do this, but I got to do it every time. Ali, man, let's take his fight against George Foreman. George Foreman was likened to Mike Tyson back then. He was a head crusher. You see what he did to Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
And Joe Frazier was a killer in the game. What Ali did was nothing short of remarkable.
Stephen, I'm going to say this to you. Basically, on Facebook the other day, I have a Facebook group, which a lot of people know about. But on that Facebook group, there was a guy who said, I found it disrespectful, disgusting, horrible. Basically, this guy said that Tyson Fury, he said something along the line, Tyson Fury is a greater human being and a greater fighter than Muhammad Ali. Stephen, I know the steams are going to be coming out your ear hearing that. Steams were coming out my ears. I came downstairs and my dad said, don't post stuff like that. That's disrespectful, man. My dad said Tyson Fury ain't half the fighter or half the person that Muhammad Ali was.
Yeah, he never will be either, man.
He never will.
That's crazy. Ali transcended out of boxing. You know, his greatness stood outside the ring. The things that he stood up for. You know, he told him, he said, listen, my name ain't Cassius Clay no more. He said, I'm Muslim now. My name is Muhammad Ali. Respect me. And he said, you know what? I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Fuck boxing when it came down to it.
Steven, when Floyd says, I'm greater than Muhammad Ali, I'm greater than Sugar Ray Robinson, to that you say what?
I say Floyd is the ultimate troll. You never seen a troll until you seen Floyd. And I think Floyd doesn't believe that. Floyd doesn't even believe that. So I put no type of credit into what Floyd says when he's talking about how you gonna be greater than Ray Robinson. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I got a call real quick. Hold on, I got a call. 1 second.
Okay, Imran, you know that Imran, that Cassius Clay version when he fought Patterson and Lipton, there is no human being that could beat that version, because that guy, even though as a heavyweight, that his footwork, God, man, he was moving like a middleweight.
Yeah, he was a killer. He was what I call he was just an unbelievable fighter. And
Imran, now that we're talking about fighters of yesteryear, I remember you Christian and Steve were talking about like fighters back in the old days, like
don't get me started with that.
I agree with you. I think that those fighters, I think we need to take into account. But Imran, I do agree with you that there's a cut-up point. I think the cut-up point is probably when the Queensborough rules were introduced, and then you have to include all of those guys. And then when you were saying that today's human beings are better than human beings back in the 20s, but the thing is, like those guys like Dempsey and Gene Tunney, they were playing with the same facilities as their contemporaries. So you can't say, like, if you put Gene Tunney in today's environment, like if he was born in the 80s, for example, he would be a great fighter now because of his attributes, right?
Yeah, you make a good. It's just that we can't relate to those people back in, like, back in the 20s and 18, 19, the 1880s. It's hard to relate to those guys, it was different. Humans with, like, I don't know, it's difficult.
But
Everyone has
footage,
a different
There's articles, there's things that happen. They explain it very, very, very well.
I get
I agree with him. You gotta look by.
Yeah, and Christian, I agree with you because those guys were fighting like freaking 20, 25 times a year, and not only that, they were fighting guys who were like the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. They weren't fighting like
smaller
drivers back then.
Not have to.
Something's wrong with Christian's audio.
Those guys.
Steven.
Yes, sir.
To that, the old school fighters, you say?
We going over this again? We talked about this the other day.
Yes.
Oh, he's gone again. Steven's gone.
Yeah.
Imran,
I do know that you respect those guys.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you have to respect champions. Steven, old school fighters, Lil Penny wants to know your opinion.
I love old school fighters. Now, I think we go wrong when we start to compare them with new fighters, with new school fighters, because it's a mismatch. You have little known about the sport. So I just don't think that it's fair to compare the two. Is that what we're doing right now?
Yeah, but Steven, put it this way: you put Manny Pacquiao in the 40s with Ray Robinson and what's his name? the Raging Bull and man, those Barney Ross and those. Manny Pacquiao will get killed.
I don't know about killed, man.
Yeah, I don't know about killed neither. I mean, I don't know. Ray Robinson, to me, I think he stands out above everybody else. I think Ray Robinson. I think that's I think that's the standard, the golden standard for what a boxer should be. You know, he didn't really even like fight. He really didn't even like fighting. He just did it to make money. But he's the standard. He's the pinnacle of what a fighter really is. So I don't know, man. I don't know. That's kind of tough for me to remark on, really, Will Penny.
Yeah, but I agree with Ray Robinson part, man.
Yeah, Chris. But back then, I'll agree with you. Back then, man, the batch of say welterweights or middleweights or whatever, it was a lot more competitive because there were more guys who were fighting each other, and they were highly like for example, in our era with Spence. Yes, correct. There were no regular or interim belts or whatever the WBA calls them, and they were fighting each other regularly. So you knew who was the best. Like nowadays with Spence, Crawford, Pacquiao, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, and Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz. Dude, none of them have fought a rematch against each other. You know what I mean?
Well, look, Penny. This is I don't know if you heard the other day, but we talked about this extensively. Okay, and what I was saying was basically, did y'all hear this part when I said this? I said basically when any sport comes about, when it's developed, you don't know too much about the sport. You haven't had the years and years of experience and the different techniques. Say for instance, American football, the NFL. When it first came out, you had a very, very archaic version of the West Coast offense or the option. You didn't get intricate until after years and years and years of trial and error. When a sport first starts, the level of competition isn't there. You just don't have the know-how. You just don't have the prowess at that point. Would you agree with me, Lil Penny?
Yeah, I do. But Stephen, right? You're talking about like the early days, like Jack Johnson and those guys. Yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. But the thing is, Jack Johnson and his contemporaries were playing with the same facilities. You know what I mean? It's not like, today they've got better, I don't know, medical or whatever. Back then they didn't. But the thing is, those guys were living in that same era. So it's like in relative terms. You know what I mean, Stephen?
Yeah, I know what you mean, Lil Penny. But that's a good point too, man. But to that, I still contend that there was little the art of it was in early development, and because I can't rate them like I. Now there are a couple of one-offs, a couple of anomalies. Those are maybe give me somebody, Sugar Ray Robinson, maybe him. Yeah, but by and large, I think that the talent pool, even though they were fighting against their contemporaries at that time, I think you really have to take that in consideration when you rank them.
Yeah, but I agree, Stephen. But you also have to take into consideration that nowadays those guys, they're not fighting each other.
No, they don't, and that's one of the more unfortunate things right now. The game of boxing is ruled by capitalism. Capitalism really rules. It dictates the direction of the world, and because they've infiltrated boxing. You guys that are doing what Caleb is doing. Caleb Plant is doing what any good business person would do. He's bargaining and he's willing and dealing to try to make his life circumstances the best they could be. But that doesn't say a lot.
Stephen, as a historian yourself, and you would know this, and Chris and Imran, you'll probably know this as well, and in fact, all of the panelists, money has always been around boxing. Like even in the 20s, didn't Jack Dempsey was the first person to have a $1 million gate, and at that time, the second most popular sportsman was Babe Ruth, and he was only making $20,000 a year. Jack Dempsey was making $1 million at that time in 1920s.
Yeah, and that was it. That would be like in today's terms, $1 million back then would be maybe what would you say, 30 or 40 million?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So if you're off of inflation, but what I'm saying is that since then everything has advanced. From everything we do, everything is advanced. You have more companies that came, but by Fortune 500 companies, so even though money has always been a driving force in the world, but I'm saying right now with the advent and the advent and the uprising of technology connecting us all, the earning potential has risen exponentially for the average person. So in boxing, I think boxing is that's the reason why you ain't getting some of these fights. And when you look at it closely, it always comes down to the almighty dollar. Like the Terence Crawford thing we talked about earlier. That's a money issue because he's asking for more than what Errol Spence thinks he's worth. You know, a time where there was a lot of honor, but it's not.
Yeah, I want to give it
Steve.
example. It's like when again, I don't think Roberto Duran, so you guys hear him a lot, but like when Duran fought Sugar Ray Leonard, I think Sugar Ray Leonard took 10 million and Roberto Duran took 1. But they just wanted to make the fight, so that's not now anymore.
Right, exactly.
Hey Chris, that's kind of like what Errol Spence is doing now with Manny. He's taking the lower purse to be great, so that then he can be as Steve was saying a couple of days ago, he'll be the money man in boxing.
Yeah, but when you got guys like Crawford, it's just I feel it's making it worse because he said he wants 50-50 with Manny Pacquiao. Like, doesn't that just sound like a duck to you straight away?
Yes.
No, he didn't. He didn't say it was Manny Pacquiao.
I'm sorry, he didn't say. His trainer said it. His trainer said that they feel they deserve 50-50 with Manny Pacquiao, which is ridiculous. Like, Crawford needs to understand he's a very. Pardon?
Okay, I was just gonna say Crawford needs to clean out his house. He needs to clean house, and he needs to do some hiring and firing.
Mm-hmm.
Bomac, his big fat ass belly, he's always saying something inappropriate. He's always saying something uncool, and that really doesn't do any justice to Terence Crawford. Because Terence Crawford, he doesn't strike me as the type of guy that would sanction him to say something like that. But I think he's so comfortable with Bomac and the whole camp, the whole Nebraska camp, Omaha, Nebraska camp, that he's letting them kind of tear him down. And what is Bomac doing saying something like that? That's ridiculous.
You feel like they've gotten in Crawford's head a little, like yes man, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably true, to be honest. Yeah.
Guys,
but Imran, isn't Bud? Isn't he a free agent like in October?
I don't know.
Yes.
I heard some rumors that he was going to resign. I was like, what's going on? I don't know if it's true though. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, if he resigns, then that just proves that he never wanted to fight a top welterweight. Really, I feel he gets like 4 million every fight, I think. Yeah. So I just feel he's very comfortable fighting
I think I heard reports of him resigning.
Say that again.
I said I'm resigning.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Wow, that'd be crazy, man.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. But what were you saying, Makai? You were saying something. He's happy.
I feel he's happy just earning $4 million, fighting guys that he know he can beat. He's not got no eagerness to get a big fight now. He used to. He definitely used to, but not anymore.
But surely he knows that a big fight will mean more money as well. So, like, for example, if he fights a Spence, he's going to make, maybe 15 million?
Yeah, but obviously he doesn't want to take less money. He doesn't want to take 60-40.
Even if he gets 60-40, Makai, don't you think he'll make, 12, 13, whatever?
He's still getting a lot of money, but I just feel he's got a bit of an ego.
Yeah, it's ego. He's not allowing him to take less of the purse.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain if he fought Manny Pacquiao, he would take 30%, 20%, 25%.
Would he though? Ahmed? That's the thing you're saying. That would he though?
I mean,
because there would be a big money involved.
I don't know, Ahmed. I don't know. Like Terence Crawford.
Because you've got
Steven's right. What he's saying about Terence Crawford. The PR team's not done a good job for him. It just seems everything that's coming out from his camp is very shady, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. It's just making him look bad. Wouldn't you say, Steven?
Yeah, man. I say, man, they make him look bad every time they speak. Bomac is not that. He's not that. I don't think he's that palatable to say it in good terms to where I don't sound, I don't sound like he would. But he's not that palatable of a guy to begin with. And everything that comes out of his mouth is sudden abrupt and rude. And I just think that he just needs to hire a whole different team at this point. Because they haven't did anything good for him, man. Look at from his competition in the ring. He needs to get off top rank. He just needs a complete overhaul so we can see his true greatness.
Christian, your take on that? Christian, you there? Rizos?
Yeah. Are we talking? We're on the Crawford subject, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to Crawford, I know you guys are based in the UK, and I don't know if you're too familiar with the US geography, but where Crawford's from, Omaha, like everyone was stating before, $4 million is a lot of money in Omaha. I mean, you got Warren Buffett, and that's pretty much it in that city. So I think part of Crawford is comfortable receiving that, knowing that that's some guaranteed money. And I think I remember it might have been a couple years back. He said something along the lines of, "I would have retired already if I didn't have to support so many people." So I honestly think at this point, Crawford has mentioned multiple times that he's undisputed. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't need Spence. I truly believe that he's the type where he's stubborn enough to not go through with that fight. Because he doesn't technically have to, if that makes sense. Like he has to for his legacy, but he doesn't have to financially, and he doesn't have to prove to himself anything, if that makes sense.
He kind of almost acts like he don't want to fight no more. Because I've heard him say, because I've heard him say things like that too before. I don't think he really wants to fight. I don't think he's really interested in it. I think he knows that there's a chance that he might lose his mental faculties behind it. I think that he sees that he values his friends. It's obvious that he values his friends and his family because they're always speaking for him. And I think he's at the point where he's content with life now. He's made it. Like you said, everything you said.
Yeah, and Steven, if Crawford stays at top rank, he'll be pampered there, right? Like, because he's the only one or two guys star guys that they have. But if he goes to PBC, he'll become one of the guys because there's so many stars there at welterweight.
Yep. There's so many stars there, man, because Al Heyman, like him, love him, or hate him, Al Heyman does a damn good job at setting these fighters up to where they're taken care of for life. Leo Santa Cruz, when he even went so far as to name one of his kids after Al Heyman, and he's Mexican. He just cares about his fighters.
Yeah, Al Heyman's, I think, is good for boxing. Guys like Bob Arum and Don King, dude, they need to go away now.
Yeah. I would even say this, Lil Penny. I would even say Eddie Hearn is good for boxing because Eddie Hearn tries. He tries to make those fights.
Yeah, and he's actually better than Al Heyman because Eddie Hearn is out there. He's really a promoter, whereas Al Heyman's more of a financial advisor or more of a lawyer. Like, you know what I mean? You rarely see
he's
him.
like Al Heyman's kind of like the mysterious figure. Did y'all didn't have Inspector Gadget overseas? Did y'all?
Yeah. And also, can I bring up a point with another point with Crawford as well? Is that I think his biggest bargaining chip is that many media outlets consider him like a top 3 pound for pound fighter, and I think that he's kind of scared of losing that status, if that makes sense. So if he faces tougher competition, I mean, that's his biggest bargaining chip when it comes to a big fight with Errol Spence or someone like that. So, and to be honest with you, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I actually, based on strictly competition and what he's done recently, I really don't have Crawford in my top 3 pound for pound.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people's been saying that. But I'm gonna have to get off here, man. I'm gonna have to get off here. But it's been wonderful, man. Imran, when you gonna do another one?
Yeah, tomorrow, man. I'm gonna wrap it up myself. It's late here. You know what, Stephen? Before you go and before everyone goes, I want to ask you guys, everyone in the live stream, your prediction for tomorrow: Gervonta Davis and Barrios, Lomachenko, Nakatani.
Me? I got Gervonta winning too, man. I got him winning too. What go ahead, Nakatani. Everybody else.
Loma Nakatani.
I got
Loma.
Man, you know what? You gonna go with Loma?
Loma's too skillful.
Man, I just love Nakatani, man.
The only reason he lost to Teal is because it was more of an off day for Loma than a good night for Teal for me.
I don't know, man.
I think Davis is gonna beat.
I don't know.
I actually think Davis is gonna beat Barrios.
Give a prediction then, Stephen. Prediction: Nakatani, Loma. Who are you going for?
I don't know, man. I don't want to. I'm just have to go with Nakatani, man.
What, stoppage or points?
I'm gonna go points.
It's a good shout. Good shout. That's a good shout. Guys, okay, I'll come to Ahmed first. Davis v Barrios and Loma Nakatani. Who wins?
At least one of them is going to go upset. One of the big names are going to get upset, and we shall. Because I think both fights are going to be close. Both fights will be close, and I'll go for Lomachenko to lose again.
Yeah,
and I'll go for a draw in the Davis and Barrios.
Wow.
114.
I like
All
that,
right.
man.
Little Penny, what have you got?
I think Davis will win that fake belt that Barrios has, and I think Loma will redeem himself against Nakatani, and he will show Tio that he can beat Nakatani easier.
Okay, fair enough. Brizos.
All right. So when it comes to the Davis and Barrios, I mean, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I had Barrios winning that fight, but in the weigh-in today, he looked a little drained. He didn't want to talk. I'm wondering if maybe he's like a little tired. You know what I mean? So Davis looked extremely comfortable at the weight. He looked like he didn't have to put his body through too much punishment. So I think after the weigh-in, I'm kind of leaning more towards Davis. I'm not sure if by knockout, but I'm gonna go with knockout more likely than a decision, because I think Mario Barrios, if it goes to the later rounds, he's gonna want to prove a point. Like, why am I gonna let this little man beat me? So I think he might open himself up to a little more punishment than he should. And I got Davis by KO, late KO. In terms of Lomachenko Nakatani, honestly, I think Loma is an old 30. Is he like 32 or 33?
Yeah, he's 33. Yeah.
All right, I think Loma's an old soul at this point. I think the amateur fights took a lot out of him. The shoulder issue has been a common issue, and I mean, what's his name? The one that just fought Haney, Lopez.
Yeah, Linares.
Oh, Linares. There we go. Sorry. Linares, with his reach and his height, gave Loma some problems, and Luke gave Loma some problems. And I think Nakatani's probably the biggest lightweight. And if Nakatani really wants to play it safe, he could. So I actually have Nakatani with the upset, but by decision, not by knockout.
Fair enough. A lot of people going for the upset. Mackay.
I've got Loma winning in a tough competitive fight. I feel it's going to be competitive at the start. Then I feel Loma might start taking over a little. Bit like with the Loma vs Campbell fight. Obviously, Loma kind of dominated that, but it's kind of going to be like that near the end. And then I think Davies is just going to knock Barrios out. I think that there's a reason why Barrios was picked.
Right. Fair enough. Good point. Good points. Christian, last one. Christian, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think we're gonna wind back the clock. I think it's just too slow for Katani. It was for, like I said, for me, it was more of an off day for Loma versus Teal. A good night for Teal. Gonna win.
Right, and Davis Barrios.
Davis, man. I think it was, like I said, was the reason he was picked. And and he looked drained in the way, and so this.
Right, so you're going Davis. Guys, I'm going Lomachenko. I'm going Lomachenko to beat Nakatani on points, and I'm going for Davis to stop Barrios tomorrow. But yeah, guys, I appreciate all of you coming on. I appreciate it was another great live show, and tomorrow I'll do another one hopefully. And tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm up, we could do a live watch along. You know what I mean? Yeah. That'd be great. Talking about the fights, you know what I mean? That'd be great. So yeah, man, it was great. It was great. It was great. Great talking to everyone. Thank you, Stephen, as always, my man. Breezos, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Imran.
Little Penny, Ahmed. Hi. Appreciate it, man. All of you guys coming on, man.
Thanks,
yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And I'll see you guys. I'll see you all guys tomorrow. We'll speak with you.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Man.
All right, y'all. Stay safe.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Take care, man. Take care, guys.
Stay safe. See you later, guys.
So Ray, we're still going. We're just finishing now. So we're still going. Last Bell Boxing in the house. So yeah, we were just still going. Finished now. We're all done now. I'm about to wrap it all up. And yeah, thanks everyone in the chat as well. Nice, good 3.5 hours there. And hopefully tomorrow we'll do another one. We'll do another one, and hopefully it'll be as good as last two lives have been really good, man. Enjoyed them. Really enjoyed it. I appreciate everyone in the live stream. What time are you on tomorrow? Probably hopefully it'll be a bit early, 7 o'clock. And then hopefully let's see if I'm feeling good. I might do a live watch along, like we did for was it Frampton Herring, Raymond? we did one for Frampton Herring, didn't we? So yeah, I think a live watch along for one of them. You know, I think Davis might be a little earlier, or maybe a little bit later. I don't think they're gonna compete with one another. So yeah, and one of them's on Sky, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully we can do a nice watch along. Lomachenko's fighting on Sky. I don't know what date. Where's Davis fighting on? Is he on? He's on Fight TV, isn't he? Davis is on Fight TV, so that'll be. I'd like to think they'll be at different times. Hopefully they can spread it out. But yeah, just to answer Burning Desires question about Junior Witter and Ricky Hatton, who would have won? That would have been a hard fight for Ricky Hatton. You know, Junior Witter was very, very skilled. I don't know if Ricky would have won that fight, to be honest with you. I think that would have been a very tough fight for Ricky Hatton. I think Junior Witter was very slick, and I think there's a reason why Ricky Hatton didn't take that fight. I think that would have been a tough fight for him, stylistically, horrible matchup. So I wouldn't be surprised if you know, Junior Witter pulled that one off, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have been surprised. But that's just my opinion. But Ricky Hatton may have, pressured him and made it tough for him. It would have been a good fight either way. Would have been a tough fight either way. But yeah, guys, I'm going to sign out now. I'm knackered. I'm tired. 3.5 hour marathon live stream. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, guys. Thanks, Richard, Ray, Blast Bell Boxing, Leaf, and Ahmed, everyone in the chat, everyone in the stream. Appreciate it. Rohit, James Deere, all of you guys. Lee, appreciate it. Rohit, everyone in the stream. Don Dada 555, thank you. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow as well, Ahmed. Take care. Take care, guys.